DIY Wire.
Oh, DIYers, excuse my tardiness, but I'm here with a special guest who, in the morning, I had no idea this will be my 12 p.m. I had no idea my dog, Screwface John. Shout out to Screwface John one time. How you doing, sir?
We in the building. I'm good, man. I'm just Chilly Willy Snowflake. Shout out to the DIYers. You feel me? We out here. Let me turn this light on.
Please do. Shout out to all the real human beings out there that's not reporting from locations that they obsess about.
You feel me?
We got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, you see what the lead conversation is going to be. It's about this coworker music. I'm gonna save that one because you don't want to bury the lead, but also we're not gonna start off with that one. We got so much stuff to talk about. But Scru just says something, and I want to get straight to this conversation because I think it's an important one about R&B. What was you just saying right now, bro, about R&B? And did you mean to put two S's in your name? Now we got to fight. This whole stream is over with. We done here. We must stay focused. I don't like this. I don't like what you're doing. How you gonna give yourself two S's and then don't give me two S's in my name on your video?
So I remember. That's how I remember. You know what I mean? That's my little, like, when I'm on here, I'm just Screwface. You know what I mean? Like,
here I was excited.
You know what I mean?
And here I was excited to go live with you. I was excited to go live with you, and now look at where we at. Look at this. Look at. I'm done. We're not doing this today. But yeah, what was you saying just now about the R&B, about R&B in general, and what you feel like has been missing? And something, there was an experience you had recently that had you like, damn, like I missed this. What was you saying?
Well, I was saying that, like, it's a random thought I have. I have a million of them where I was just like, I know that hip hop takes a lot of the brunt and a lot of the arrows when people talk about a music genre that has lost like its technical ability, like on the mainstream at least. Of course, there's always underground rap, and I feel like hip hop becomes the scapegoat. But I always say, like, I don't know if there's a hot take, but I don't think there's one genre where technical ability has fallen off worse than R&B. And it was a weird epiphany I had. Oh, my bad, what you say?
I'll say I'm surprised to hear you think it's falling off, because there's singers out here still, but in terms of what's the expectation about the top singer in the game, yeah, a lot of stuff has definitely changed.
So I had this in a weird epiphany, and I remember I'm a dad, so
sure.
I was watching The Princess and the Frog.
You had to ease the conversation in like that. Yeah. Hey, bro, you watch what you watch. It ain't none of our business. It's none of y'all. If you was watching it and your young one was asleep, it's none of our business, bro.
So I watched The Princess and the Frog, and there's a song in there called "I'm Almost There."
Yeah.
And when I heard it, I'm not expecting. I'm just over here, whatever. But it caught me in a way where I got emotional, like, and I don't know if it's the lyrics too. It's like it's a crazy song, and then it dawned on me where I was like, because then I went on like YouTube and started listening to it, and I was like, man, where can I get this kind of like power singing, like where like singing with an A, not with an I, with an A, like that singing that makes you make an ugly face. Like, where do I get that on the mainstream of R&B? Because I feel like so much of it, like you were saying earlier, is not just low vibrational now on like subject matter, but also low vibrational on the technical ability, because like that crooning, and I think it came when hip hop became also very melodic, where that crooning singing style has taken over so much that it's like I almost don't even know who can sing for real now, because it's just like a lot of crooning. And I feel like sometimes because some people might think some of the stuff they're hearing is like good, like technically, but I'd be like, bro, I promise you, if you went to a studio and you're just messing around and you got your auto-tune setting perfectly right, you got your reverb perfectly right, and you did it live, you would be surprised when it comes from croon to croon what you can do. That's why so many rappers can just, I'm just gonna be like a croony kind of person. This is songs.
I'm sorry, they cannot sing either, bro. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even have to be able to sing, because people always like, you don't even got to be able to rap. It's like, nah. Well, you don't really got to even be able to kind of sing to really be an R&B. I feel like anymore. Like, I feel like people don't even look for it.
Yeah. When do you feel like the shift happened? I think the shift happened in a matter of years where you had styles like a T-Pain that made sort of a style that was more accessible and more commercially viable. And there was a lot of artists, I think that, because, we came up on a time in the early 2000s, especially like the 106 in Park, you couldn't get your R&B song off, or not even R&B, you couldn't get your melodic rap song off without Jaheim on the hook, without getting Joe on the hook, without getting somebody who could really, really take it there. And even on R&B songs, rappers used to only get 8 bars, right? You got your 8 bars, you get your Jada Kiss feature on a Mariah, like you get them kind of features where it worked hand in hand and it kind of seemed like they supported one another. But something happened, I feel like, between, I'm not putting this on T-Pain because all he did was just kind of put his creativity out there, and it was accepted by the people and embraced. But inevitably, the Drake fans from India are gonna hate this conversation, but slow it down. The Drake fans from Thailand are gonna really not like this conversation we about to have. But I do feel like there was an emphasis on rappers becoming their own singers after the blow up of Drake. So there's a lot of different events that kind of felt like they led to it. In your opinion, what do you feel like it was?
I low-key think it wasn't just Drake. I think there's a couple people, because it's never one thing. It's a multi-pronged attack. I think it was like, if attack is the right word, I think it's T-Pain. And like I said, like you said, I mean, people shouldn't really blame T-Pain because T-Pain can sing.
Yes,
like
yeah.
that boy can.
Hell yeah,
Auto-tune or no auto-tune, it's on YouTube. You can go check it out. He can sing. So he was using it more like just like a nice spice. Now he was using it more, but it's like it was what Jay-Z was saying in Death of Auto-Tune, because it started once Auto-Tune started becoming the sound and T-Pain was starting to pop off. It wasn't really T-Pain that heard it. It was the millions of people that came after him that started just using the Auto-Tune in a crazy way.
Oh, they
Even
bastardized.
like, shout out to Wayne. I love Wayne, one of my favorite rappers. But like when he started getting into that Auto-Tune rapping,
I wouldn't care if you was a prostitute and you get every girl that you ever do. Jump off the lean era.
And I could be a hypocrite because I do like some of those songs. Like I just grew up with them, so it's like they have nostalgia to me. Like, but I think when people started doing that, it started slipping. And then I think we can't let this person off the hook too. I think Kanye West is a part of that too.
Oh, surely. Yeah. That's not even a stretch.
Yeah, he shares
808s and heartbreaks happen.
Exactly. And I also think it was Drake was like the nail in the coffin, because I think when Drake came out and was doing it, I think that's when people weren't starting to do that because they liked it. I think, or in the industry, I feel like they were doing it because they were like, if we can't afford a Drake hook or we're just going to now do this. And then that's when you got to the point when hit like croon melodic rap became a thing, but that was considered rap. And then that's where I feel like that whole thing, what's that saying? A rising tide or a rising ship lowers the tide, whatever. I think that lowered the bar for everything. So now R&B singers don't need to be powerful singers because people is getting stuff off just crooning on the rap side. So, and I also think this is going, I said,
I got one for you too. I want you to get this off because I got a crazy ass theory for you for this one too.
I think Post Malone, when White Iverson dropped, I'm telling you, bro, the nail was already in the coffin. But I feel like when Post Malone was considered a rapper, I think that shifted the genre in a way. You know what I mean? Like, because when you go back and listen to White Iverson, and I would say it's like, it's what makes that rap. I've never understood what makes that rap. Is it the subject matter?
It is the subject matter one, and it's also them god awful braids, and it's also I'm just playing. It's also that it was awful though. It's also
you're not playing.
It's also the drums. I think it's the drums. I think really we associate a lot of things with the drums that we don't really give it credit for. Between trap and boom bap, it's really the first thing you think about is the drums.
But shout out to Lil Bill, who's a dope content creator. But he said something that's very true, and I've been saying it. Bro, that trap 808 sound has been infused in every genre.
Sure.
There's
Sure.
country songs that got trap 808 beats and stuff like that. So it's like, that's still, to me, I never understood why Post Malone was considered a rapper. And I never felt like, okay, it's problematic that he is, but I felt like, what would have been the difference just calling him like a singer? Because look at him now, like.
Yeah, like I think the transition would have been it would have still been problematic because people would have been like, you ate off of R&B and then you went over to country and you know, basically went inside the house, took a shit on the welcome rug and went to R&B. But I think it'd have been less problematic because he didn't just flirt with rap. He got a celebration featuring who was that on there? You know what I'm saying? Like, he dove into it knowing 21 Savage, like, dog, we knew what you was doing. You got in there with the grills. And I mean, it's so crazy when you see A and B split test between, or the contrast between him with the grill and the Dallas Cowboy jersey, and then him with the now the Cowboys. It's not even the Cowboys, it's just the Cowboys, like, yeah, he hitting the beers, and I'm like, where was this chain smoking cigarette nigga before? Where was he at before?
Well, the thing to me is, even like the association to me, I could speak to that or push back a little bit, because I go,
Sure.
I feel like there was a time, especially in the 90s, when hip hop and R&B were this. I mean, like,
especially
where
New Jack
every
Swing
singer was with all the rappers and all the rappers with all the singers. Like, even if you think of like, so it's like let me think back of a group like what's the one with Devontae Swing? I'm bugging right now.
It's my Bell Biv DeVoe?
No, is that what Devontae? Yeah,
I'm tripping.
But even Bell Biv DeVoe, that's a great example, actually.
Yeah.
Even Bell Biv DeVoe, were they rappers or were they singers? Is Poison rappers? Because Post Malone,
Jodeci. I'm tripping. Jodeci.
That's what. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm thinking, so is Poison hip hop or R&B?
It flirts with hip hop, but this gives me an interesting question, because I got a theory for you. I'm not gonna forget it, but I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. Did rap benefit more from its inclusion in R&B, or did R&B benefit more from its inclusion in rap?
To me, with the thing with R&B and rap, I feel like they're the same, two different sides of the same coin. I don't feel like, was there ever a time R&B wasn't a part of hip hop?
Well, I'm not saying it as if they're excluded, right? There's always elements in the even, like, when you think about even a song like oh baby, you Biz Markie, you got what I need. It is always a connection. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is, which genre was more successful and more commercially accepted across the board, and was there a play there where somebody, an executive, maybe somebody like his name is like a Teddy Riley, or someone who knew, somebody who's a musician who knew this could be good for hip hop if we like really make these, because you remember there was a time that R&B singers really was dressing like rappers.
Yep.
Female and male were like really dressing like rappers, and then they were coming together, but there was a necessity for both. And I'm wondering, because that's at a time when you talk about New Jack Swing was really the biggest, I think, meshing of its kind between the two genres, and it really made no what do you call it? No apologies for the collaboration and for the cohesion between the two. But it got me thinking how much rap benefited off of it, because it wasn't just an embrace of rappers being on these R&B records, but it was also an embrace of the fashion. Because at one point in time, R&B singers was like shirtless niggas showing off they tackle meat and
like Boys to Men. Yeah, like no, you're right. I think hip hop probably did. I think it's hard to say what benefited more, but when I'm thinking of like R&B, I'm thinking of stuff like when Heavy D had the song with Michael Jackson. You got to think of the highest. To see like what benefited more. And I think like obviously it's going to help Heavy D more than Michael Jackson. And when you think of like R&B and okay, this is my bad. This is my music nerd
what
brain.
You here for? Hold on, he cooking. I see the steam. He cooking. Let him
music nerd brain just pivoted real quick. But I heard something that I absolutely think is I don't know if it's a hot take, but I agree with it. and it helped me classify music up easy. Pop is not a genre of music.
Interesting.
And I can't remember who said that. And when I first heard it, I was like, what you mean pop's not a genre of music? It's like pop is like a level of success, I guess, or like a measurement of success. If something is big enough, it is pop. So like, that's why, like, when I was going to say like Michael Jackson, because people are going to say, but he was a pop artist. That's why my brain went there. But I went like, Michael Jackson's R&B, but like, he was very popular. Because what is pop?
What is pop?
Like, yeah, what is pop music? Like, that don't even
outside of popular, but a lot of things can be popular at the same time, depending on what you're in.
And that's why they say you go pop.
Yeah, exactly. You don't go. Well, I guess some people went hip hop, but
yeah, but I mean, like when you get to a certain level, they damn near like, this is an awful example, but it's the only person I could think of. There's a point when Bad Boy and Diddy and them were so big, they were calling him a pop star. They weren't calling him, they were considering his hip hop. So it's like,
and the sound wasn't Four to the Floor. It wasn't Christina Aguilera. It wasn't Britney Spears. It was just a more commercial version of the hip hop that they had made before, the rap they made before. Let me give you this theory. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Let me get my conspiracy theory.
No, get it off. My bad.
I also think they created the genre pop to hold back black singers. Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
You can't tell me to go ahead after that. You can't tell me to get. What is your thoughts on that when you hear that?
I think, in a way, if you think about it, the only reason why you would create that, right? And when you think of pop, the face of pop, we know what we think of. And when we think of the face of R&B, we know what we think of. But sonically, or like, if you sit down in the studio and make an R&B song and it is popular enough, it becomes pop.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera has that, You Are Beautiful No Matter. That's a pop song, but that's an R&B song. Like, I feel like if another person would have made that song, and you know what I'm saying.
You know what's crazy? The first thing I think about is TLC Waterfalls. And that never was seen as a pop song, but that song had pop success all the way around it. From the visual, from the stories it told about AIDS, from all these different things that are happening. Like, this is a very popular type of theme that touches a lot of different lives. But I think I like that theory because what it lends itself to is this. We like what you're doing, but if it's too yours, we can't change the things we don't like. So if you put it in the same pot and we just add our own instrument, we add our own, not instruments, but we add our own spices to it, we can kind of call it ours too.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like pop culture in general. Pop culture is just a combination of all these different things that are happening in multiple segments of culture, but this one just so happens to boil to the top. Here's a theory I got for you about this. And it's funny because we weren't even supposed to talk about this, but I love that we're talking about R&B on this one. I saw somebody make a theory about in this post monoculture world where we're not having the same experiences, but we are seeing similar behaviors on social media like TikTok. Somebody came with this theory. They were like, whatever happened to the singers like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, who are like setting world records for the type of singing they're doing? Their technical skills are like 1 percentile and below. What happened to them? And their theory was this. Look at how social media looks now, in that people feel like they can relate to you more if it's not 4K footage, if it's not the most overly produced. People feel like they can relate to you more and you're more eye level with them. She said, why do you think that music wouldn't be the next thing for that to happen to as well? If you're a singer and you're singing songs you want people to sing along with you, well, they don't have the skill set that you have if you're in the 1 percentile. But if you come up with a song and I'm not clowning her at all, Janae Aiko, if you have a song that is just like,
that's all of R&B.
It's a lot more accessible for somebody who can't sing. So I think a lot of singers started making more music that people who couldn't sing didn't feel threatened by. And so it's almost the same effect that happened with social media, in that these people who got hella millions of budgets are doing content on the phones. They're doing it so they don't come off as like, no, I'm just like you. And it's like, no, dog, that's what made you you. Like, we need you to show your talent. But that was her theory, is that a lot of artists saw the labels saw a better benefit in these artists being more accessible and their music being something that, you don't sound so horrible singing it in the shower because it's not something that's overly sung to begin with.
Everybody can do it. Yeah, it's the difference between like, shout out to Britney Spears, but it's the difference between the Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, where like they're getting pushed together. But the reason, and I remember at the time I was mad young, but I still remember people being like, she can't even sing. Why is she popular? And it's like, I think it's because everybody can just go hit me, baby, one more time. And when it's Christina Aguilera, you got to be able to really. Do you want me to really get deep with this?
You here at Curtis King TV? Come on, Scru.
You want me to get real tinfoil for 1 second?
I'm gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
What I really feel is when I heard "I'm Almost There," and if you're in the chat and you've heard the song "I'm Almost There," the Disney song. This is just a Disney song, right? What that made me feel, right, was a way I haven't felt in a long time. And that kind of spooked me because it was what I felt was good. And I was like, and it's not saying I haven't felt good in a long time. I feel great. I'm saying that it made me, it's like almost like when you're, this is a cliche example, but like you're in the Matrix and then something just broke you out for like 2 seconds and you're like, whoa. And then you saw the real world and then you went back in the Matrix. The feeling I got in my body, I was like, man, I used to feel this when I would, there's certain movies that made me feel this. When I would hear a song on the radio, it made me feel this. And I feel like the vibration of the world has dropped in a way where that stuff makes you want to love somebody. It makes you want to like community. It makes you want to hug somebody. It makes you want to like see somebody else is different. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Honestly.
No, but you cooking, and I'm gonna tell you why you cooking, because I just saw something that was on a graphic designer's page, and they talked about, remember how colorful McDonald's used to be as a kid?
Yes. Yep.
You see how corporate and minimalist it looks now?
It looks like
and
a
how
hospital. I used to work in McDonald's. That was like my first job.
Dog, you remember it was the bright yellows and the bright reds and like everything is hot because life was doing that all the way around. Even cars, dog. You don't ever see yellow cars unless it's like somebody had a customized. You don't see yellow and like, you know, like pea green cars unless they're from the 90s. A lot of cars started losing their color. You look at the Tesla.
Look at fashion.
Fashion, bro. And it's the monochrome. I get that some of the stuff is just going to happen naturally, but some of the stuff is done purposely because now we're all vibrating on a level that is so low, and it's a lot easier to manipulate people, I think, when you are vibrating at a lower frequency.
Like, this is gonna sound crazy, but like I feel like music used to, not just music, because I don't want to just, okay, there used to be something, right? And I know nostalgia, we have a bit of this is nostalgia glasses, because have always been crazy that we were kids or younger and it felt different. But the only evidence that I have that it's not just nostalgia glasses is I've just heard this "I'm Almost There" song, and it made me, it instantly took me back to that feeling where I'm like, is this just nostalgia, or was maybe it is with the knowing what everybody's thinking constantly at all times type shit that's me, but it's just like the way that I feel like everybody is depressed. Like there is a nationwide depression, and I don't mean like monetarily, I mean literally on our brains.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Certain times when I feel like that matter of fact, remember when I was telling you about T-Pain's Club Husband?
About his what now?
He just dropped a song called Club Husband.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that last time.
That song has had me in a chokehold because that kind of gave me that too, where I was like, and remember when I was like, it's called Club Husband, but they would never play it in the club. And I said that like a joke, but then like recently after I heard that, I thought about it, I go, but wait, why wouldn't they play it in the club? And I go, like, what they do play in the club is some low vibration. Like, bro, even like songs like Sexy Can I? That's like a super, like the way that feels like a cookout. That song when people be like cookout music, they really mean music that feels good. And it takes you back to like a warm feeling. And I feel like, I don't know if it's purposeful.
I think so.
everything is meant to, like, that you consume is meant to be people fighting, people separating, people hating, people just mad, people always arguing. And it's not that people weren't doing that before. Maybe it's just all of us being able to see it. And now that I've heard songs like Club Husband and that song, I go like, man, like, do
better exists.
Feel this when
better exists out there. Yeah, better exists.
Yeah.
And you know, I think is so disappointing in all of this is that look at the timing of us realizing this, and look at the timing of some of these R&B AI music artists that are now emerging, who are creating songs that were trained off of people who do make that kind of music. Because you know what you can do then? If I listen to AI music, if I had a say, okay, let's just run this as in creator mode, okay? Let's just say label said, you know what? Let's dull the audience. Let's set the bar lower. Let's get them fiending for something that feels more real at some point in time. Then when we launch that real thing, we'll be in control of the prompting of this artist. Azania Monet. There's a country artist that they just pushed up to #1 on the charts. There's a gospel artist, an AI artist they pushed to the front. I think this is what you do when you have a product, because now that we've identified a problem, somebody may look at that and say, well, that's the solution. It's vibrating higher. And on top of that, I can actually add my story to it and customize it more. Yeah, that's the reality I want to live in. I think the timing, I know we get into like conspiratorial territory, but I think the timing is too odd to ignore. So when I look at that, I'm like, duh, you said gospel AI is insane. Well, wait till we get to this coworker music story, because there's a video of somebody made a gospel song about Charlie Kirk. And they were singing, "We are Charlie," and it's like nobody said. And shout out to Mac Danny. He was like, y'all praising him more than you praising Jesus himself the way you doing this song. And people is like, I felt this in my soul. Just a bunch of bots talking to each other.
You know what's crazy? you low key are very. You're right, and the thing that kills me is I low key also blame, if AI takes over, right? Musically, there are, and maybe I'm always just willing to like take some accountability, that we got to blame like ourselves. And I mean, we, not us specifically, but artists, because there's a crazy thing where there was this AI, and I'm sure because it went viral, people saw it. There's this AI version of 50 Cent's Many Men, and it was like in like a old school blues. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I thought of that when you said like, yeah, the AI can bring it, bro. The way that shit is, it's beautiful. I hate the fact that I have to just be objective and say that shit is beautiful. Yeah. And what made me mad is the reason why this is beautiful, this is going viral, people love this, is because really people wanted people to be doing this, but nobody sings like this no more. Nobody does this.
But you know what's crazy? They knew that. They just held, it's almost like having the cure to cancer, but holding off that you have that so that you can get the prescription prices up. You can get all that money from the side effects and the medicine, and then finally release it and saying $1,000 a pill. This is what y'all want. I feel like that's what's happening right now with the music, is that they waited to the perfect time where shit has gotten so low vibrational. And I really even feel like it was a PR move by somebody to make hip hop not being in the charts since 1993 a centerpiece story.
I've been hearing that.
I'm sure that's happened to other genres across the board. I'm sure there's other genres, whether it's jazz, nobody made that big of a. They knew we were going to talk about it on content and reactions. But I do.
Better yet, my bad, not to cut you off. I have to say this, but better yet, hip hop entered back into the charts, and the way that the story was like nowhere near, like people to this day who don't follow the charts still think hip hop's not on the charts, even though Megan Thee Stallion was on it. So it's like, even that story was so quiet. That's when I started going like, okay, this feels like
strategic. Come on, and see, I'm glad you said. I know I wasn't crazy, because I'll be coming up with things, and I'll be like, yeah, don't put that in a video, because we need to get some more evidence on this one first. But that one, I was like, ain't no way in it. I was like, dog, they knew we was gonna eat at this. They knew that, and this is where it's gonna be a cool transition back into this next story. Let's land it here. This is, I think, so funny how they know they have the support of people who don't live in this country, right? And I don't say this from any kind of xenophobic point of view when I get into this part of it, but they know that there are people who are hired as bots, people who are in charge of bot farms that will spend their entire day arguing with you because you couldn't decipher where they're from, what they look like, what their upbringing was, but they know some specific buttons to push of yours. And when things are low vibrational, it is a higher likelihood that you're going to argue with people. Before we get into that, though, I wanted to share this clip with you because when you said the thing about R&B, I was like, see, that ain't nothing but God right there. Hold on. I got to share this with you, bro, because I want to get your point of view on what she had to say, because I definitely saw a lot of that, our conversation and what she was saying. If it'll allow me to do this, yes, it will. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch.
I'm gonna be looking off because I can see it on the screen.
No,
here.
you good. You don't really have to see it. It's just a matter of just hearing what she's talking about. But Erica Lachey is someone I follow on Instagram, and she released this video talking about she's had enough of toxic love music. On the topic of R&B, I'm gonna let her cook, and we'll talk about this for a second.
I don't care what nobody say. Can't nobody convince me that the music of a generation ain't important. I don't care what nobody say. Can't nobody convince me that the music of a generation ain't important. The way that people interacting with each other now, boys choking out girls. When people were singing stuff like "My whole life has changed since you came in," I knew back then. Singing stuff like "Brother, don't let nobody hold you back." The temperature was different with how we interacted with each other. And with AI music, even less soul, emotion, and vulnerability is infiltrating the airwaves. So if you make music or any kind of media that influences the way that people think, let's change what we're talking about. I don't care what nobody say. Can't nobody.
Butros.
You feel me? Like, let's change what we're talking about. And I think that's another beautiful thing. As crazy as this time is, as chaotic, as divisive as this time is, the fact that someone like her, someone like us can make a video and it touches or talks to thousands and thousands of people, if not millions at a time. I think that's awesome that we have a point of view like that goes viral, right? And the algorithm doesn't really seem like it has loyalty to just labels. They got loyalty to the tech bros who created it, but it feels like there's an opportunity here for us to all kind of add to the chorus of conversations. What are your thoughts when you hear that point of view from her?
I mean, I think she's spot on. The only thing that I would say, but she was saying the same thing, but she just said it a little different, is the problem. Yes, AI music is soulless, but the problem is, and I didn't think you could do this, but when I heard the 50 Cent song, it could reproduce it. Like it could literally and I said that with the 50 Cent song that went super viral, and because they did it in an old, I mean, like this is like an old school blues song. So that blowing up and people loving it also spits in the face of like, what's the new hot thing? You got to do the new hot thing. How is like this song that is imitating blues from black and white era is getting more views, more everything than songs that are just dropped? So
I'll tell you,
if you have been an actual human being singing that, but it's like, I feel like we all just get told things and just accept them and don't realize sometimes it's our own downfall that we're accepting.
That part right there is what I'm 100% agreeing with you in that. I think a lot of this was programming. A lot of this was narratives that were spun by people who don't look like us, don't have an appreciation for our art form, telling us how to think about the very art form, or the thing, are putting people in position, like, you know, the academics of the world who prioritize record sales in their conversations over the art form themselves, right? They get the funding. They end up on places like Complex. I think a lot of this stuff is very strategic, but I think the truth of the matter was it was all a lie, and that there was never a time where we should ever look at music and say that time has passed us. Because what they've done now is they've accessed and combed through millions and millions of songs that have been created over the X amount of years, and they took from everything. They basically did what they do with pop. They took from everything and said, it's ours now, because it's now in part of AI music. And I think now what we're listening to is the reason why a blues song hits so much from a BB King is because these are real stories from real human beings. And it's a format, it's a style, right, that has a certain structure in its songwriting that just hits. That's why a movie like Sinners is able to have a scene or have a whole get down that we still feel something from, because it's real.
And
And
these
all
are
this shit
lyrics,
that's out here, we still identify with it.
and these are not only is it doing it in an old BB King style, but these is just to make it even more ironic. These are lyrics from songs from 2002. So it's like the lyrics are old too. So it's like all of
Yeah,
that, oh, it's
it's a
gotta
lie.
sound now. That's trash. Like it's just like
It's a lie.
if you make a song that people are gonna feel it because you like I don't even want to like promote that song so
Yeah.
much. But I'm telling you, that shit got wild
But,
views. Like that, it went crazy. And I was
but
just like,
I'm glad you sharing it because my thing is, I got two theories about this, and one of them is going to be I haven't shared this at all. This one going to be super left field. The first one being that I think that it's good that we're getting this exposure early, and I think they're pushing it very hard right now with all of this because they need this to help us get out the economic crisis we're in the U.S. I think that's why they're letting everything go by without regulation like it usually would. I think the economy needs it. I think they're pushing it as much as they can. It's a lot of funding going into this, but I do believe there will be a bubble that busts at some point. My second theory on this is, what if some of the powers that be in the music industry came together and said, how can we shake up the creative community and start a renaissance? How can we get them to make some music that comes from an authentic place, since they're all trying to copycat the shit that works here in this industry anyways? Why don't we bring a new player into the game? That's my conspiracy theory from another place. I thought about that. I was like, they fucking with us. Because even like the lady who writes, Tanisha, who writes for Exania Monet, she said they said that I own my masters. How can you own the masters of an AI artist that don't exist and you can't copyright AI music? You can copyright your lyrics. You can't copyright AI music. There's no laws allowing you to copyright AI music. She said, I own my masters. I listened to that and I said, oh, those are instructions from whoever is funding this, whether it's somebody at Suno. This is instruction from them. I said, what if they fucking with us on purpose just to get what they want anyways, which is, oh, y'all create music again like we can profit off of? Come on into the office. AI music didn't work. Let's come together again. That's another theory of mine that I have, but I'm just throwing that out there into the world. But continue.
and ironically too, if you think about it, if you think about like the Disney formula, just going back to that Almost There song, they still make music like from Disney movies and on them Disney soundtracks that are kind of no time, right? So, but those songs are some of the big, like if you think of Let It Go, right?
Yeah.
Let It Go could have came out, if this was just like a regular song, could have came out in any year. Like it could have came out in 1998 or it could have came out in 2025. It doesn't really sound, and Disney's good at that, right? Like when you listen to that stuff like back to back, like if you listen to like obviously because I've been doing that because my kid, if you listen to like the Tarzan, like the Phil Collins, I Want to Know, and then you listen to like Frozen, it all sounds like it could have came out at any time. But if you think about it, it's never not worked for them. So it's like, it's almost like, but the industry always goes through periods where it's like damn near whatever the hot thing is not working. Like, and I feel like that's what's going on right now, where like they talk about, there's no money in hip hop. It's just, I think it's more that the formula that they've been using for, which is another conversation, but I think that hip hop turns over like a new style every certain amount of years to keep it fresh. I think this style that we've been in has been the longest period where we didn't turn over. And now I think it's no longer monetizable like it used to be. But like, I think it's because people don't want to hear it. Like I genuinely believe it's that simple.
It is that simple. Because look at some of the decision making they made. I had Mr. Mac on here, Mac Rashawn, and we were having a conversation about who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to search out TikTok for viral songs from people who themselves won't even say that they're really artists. They don't care about pushing the pen. They don't care about anything about songwriting. They don't care about having a voice. They have an audience, and music for them is just another slice of content for them. What made them think not only is it good to sign them, which is not a bad decision because they have an audience, right? But what made them think, let's sign them and let's put them on the Rolling Loud stage next week? I'd never forget that era of time where they were bringing people onto the front stage and giving them millions and millions of dollars. Like, no disrespect to a LeAngelo Ball, but what the fuck does LeAngelo Ball know about Polaroid pictures? Shout out to Kanye. What the fuck does LeAngelo Ball? Millions of dollars you about to give LeAngelo Ball because he had a song that went off that was nostalgia. It was and1 nostalgia into it.
Exactly.
It was early 2000s. Like, what the fuck does he know about Polaroid pictures? So I'm saying that to say, I'm looking at these artists that they signed up, and last thing I'll say is this. I heard an actor one time who said, he was talking about the crisis that were happening in cinema. And he said, can you imagine if Hollywood said, you know what? We're not going to bring in the Robert De Niro's. We're not going to bring in the Michael B. Jordans, the Denzels. We're only going to hire people that do skits, or used to do skits on Vine, do skits on Instagram. The quality of movies would go down drastically because these are not actors. They're content creators who are great at what they do, but that's not their lane as being seasoned actors. People go to school for this. He said the quality would go down and the money available would go down. But that's what they did to the music.
I mean, quiet as kept, but not quiet as kept. That is what's happening in Hollywood.
That's what's happening low key, right?
Yeah, that is what's happening. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what happened in music is that they got people to come in who never made this a center of their focus. It's just now they signed a deal and it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll be a rapper for a few years. What you think was going to happen?
The crazy thing to me too is just going back to taking some of the responsibility. I think there was a period in time, and I don't know if me and you already talked about this, but I'm gonna say it again. I think there was this weird period of time where we got so ironic as a culture that we started to consume, and I can speak to hip hop. We started consuming hip hop ironically, and I don't know if we already had this conversation, but I've had this conversation before where it's like there was a period in time, and I love Lil B, and I'm gonna say like Lil B was the one that where people started listening to hip hop ironically, and it wasn't even like because the person was good; it was almost because the person was so bad that it made them. It was almost supposed to be like an inside joke that everybody was in, but I think, like I always say, the snake ate its tail, where such a generation came up with that, and then they genuinely have started making it where music doesn't really have to be good, and the bar has been lowered. That's why sports will never have an influx. That's why things like sports will never have like they can keep rising the ticket sales, they can keep rising, and people gonna keep showing up, keep it forever, because at the end of the day, to do a sport, no matter what you think of the generations, you need an ability, and you need to be very good at that ability. That thing of people looking at it and being like, I can't do that, right?
That's the point of paying $50,000 for floor seat tickets. Is I ain't never seen jump from the free throw line. I can't do that.
That's what makes people have that aura around the thing. But I think it became so ironic and so just everybody doing it that like people don't even know. And I always say this, and people think I'm crazy, where people are like, music's subjective. And I go, to a point. I think we say that more, but I feel like how I know it's not subjective, because we all know when something is whack to a point. We all know.
There are some objective foundational things that we can agree on. Nigga, you're not singing in key.
Exactly. Or even with rap. There's even with rap where it's like, when you listen to O'Malley's freestyle, I'm not even taking a shot at O'Malley. I'm not taking a shot at O'Malley. But that is like everybody knows that that's whack. Even if you say I like it, you're not going to say he's rapping well. So then that means that there is a line where it's not subjective. It's just what it is. So where is that line is more of the conversation. And I think it's a bit further than people accept. I think a lot of people know certain things like, yo, that dude is whack. But since I can act like this is subjective, I'm gonna act like, because there's other things I like about him that I like. So that long tangent to go, I think that's one of the reasons why the bar got lowered so hard in hip hop, because when you ask somebody, why do you like this person? An acceptable answer is they're a vibe.
Okay. Let me give you a little pushback on this one, only because Lil B is a friend of the channel, and I had him on one of my private communities. A very rare experience. Remember the rare experience where he came into the community and he kind of broke down what it is that he does. And I, not to put that out in the world, but I'm just say this: there was a time that people were dogging him. Oh, they were saying like, nigga, how could you go from the pack to being this guy? How could you? And he was catching so much heat. Then when he started getting into the quote unquote I'm gay area, and he was wearing the pink, and he did all these things. And like you said, there was an irony about it that was like, I know for sure you're gonna see videos of me cooking. You're gonna see videos of me, because the whole thing was just. And I went to the show. I went to a show he had in Pomona. I understood that aspect of it, but here's where I think shit got serious. And this wasn't even about him. This is him being, if anything, exploited by an industry that first laughed at him. And then they started to create artists like Lil Pump, who started to become like, well, what would happen if we did put that on beat and in key? What would happen if we took that irony and then we put some funding behind that? And I think you started to see a lot of the artists in the SoundCloud era who were like the branches and the leaves that kind of grew from the Little B tree. I looked at Little B as like a punk rock. He's like punk rock rap to me, is what I saw him as. He took a time where everything was very like masculine and like, you know what I mean? He was like, I'm gonna do the opposite shit and just piss y'all off. Then it became less ironic, and then it became, well, what would happen if we did bring an artist into the game and seriously put money behind him and said, this is your whole stick? So his whole shit, that's why the whole inspiration of you know, thank you, Bass God. I think a lot of that is a real deal, because that was the blueprint. It's just I didn't expect as a fan the industry was going to take that and really push that forward as like, now we're gonna make some money off of this model. The excess amount of music videos, he was shooting all of his music videos, he was dropping music. Dog, at one point in time, I saw somebody make this cold analogy about Little B. They said he creates so many songs that even if you're on the side of, I think they're bad songs, they're almost like trading Pokemon cards. Have you heard this one? Oh man, you ain't heard this project? Oh man, this is a freestyle one. Here, let me trade you. It became a point of, the worse he sounded to people, the more popular he became in the conversation. If he almost sounded too good and too on beat, or if it was a beat that was like had too many drums in it, people was like, oh no, that's not it. So even when he rapped better, people were like, I want to cook.
But see, that's why I said I don't really blame Lil B. It's not Lil B. It's because it was the pushback that it's why it's not Lil B's fault. Because at the time there was a counter to it. It's the everything that came after him that there wasn't a counter. Remember when I said it's like an inside joke that we all got? That was the counter. So even if you like him, bro, I loved the Bass God. I was the most whoop whoop chefing, cooking. I was all that. You know what I mean? But it was more of like, we got it because he was pushing up against what was happening. Like, I remember that video where he got punched and stuff, and the person that punched him, people like destroyed that dude because it's like Lil B was a different type of person. It was after that when people just started ironically listening to rap. I think that's what one of the things that dropped the bar super low when you ask somebody why they like something. And that's why, and I'm not saying like, because even Lil B, when you ask a Lil B fan why they like Lil B, they don't say because he's a vibe. They say because some of the stuff you said, because he was counterculture, because he his songs are like Pokemon. You see these tangible reasons you're giving me, like but there's
he's a real product of he's the real deal of what he represents. The problem, and I don't want to railroad your point, but I think the problem, as you're kind of alluding to, is the people that come out that are like, "Oh, that's interesting.
That's all I got to do." Yeah,
that's all I got to. Oh shit, the bar is lowered. How can I lower it even more? Like I don't think that's his goal at all when he's doing what he's doing. He's creating these experiences for a reason, for his audience. To the point where I went to a show and I'll never forget. It was like this 17-year-old white dude or 18-year-old white dude who was like, "Please take my girl." Up on stage, and I'm like, this nigga's a rock star. What is going on here?
That was the what? That was a thing. Like, niggas is weird.
in his same dirty Chucks, and he refused to. He wore his same dirty Chucks the entire tour, and people were like, "He got the Chucks on." Oh shit! Like that was a crazy time period. But you're right.
Yeah.
You can.
But you know what we got like
Look what we got from it. Yeah.
We started getting the Krayshawn white girl mobs. That was coming off. And I'm telling you, that was really that time.
Gucci. It was a Vans. Excuse me, not the Chucks. The Vans. My bad. Vans. Yeah.
That was the time. I think if I could pinpoint when things got too ironic was right after Lil B. It was just like that era where it's just like, this isn't even really. It's not even like saying it's not really rap, but it's just like. It's so counterculture. When counterculture becomes the culture, what is it? It's just bad.
Well, what happens when a genre that's built on going against what is popular, going against what is corporate, going against what is popular in society? What happens when that genre, like you said, eats its own tail,
and it becomes the most popular thing? So then you have just left with the music, and then when you go. Yeah, Lil B was doing this for a reason. Y'all are doing this because you think what Lil B was doing was easy. That's a difference.
That's an easy way to get in the game. I don't really need talent to do it like this. And there were so many things that went into that. And it's dog, especially on the West Coast. I sat on panels and defended Lil B, and they crucified me for doing that. Just before I even met him, I was like, dog, I see what he's doing. I would never do that shit, but I see what he's doing, and I think what he's doing is necessary because. Even though that was a time where we had more lyricists, we're talking about like the blog era. It was a great time for lyricism in hip hop, but shit was getting to a point where it was becoming so recycled of sounds we had already heard. Nobody was innovating anything anymore. It was just a matter of can I out nostalgia the last person who just put a project out. So I think he definitely shook a lot of things up. But let's get into this conversation, bro. Because speaking of shaking things up. Jesus. Oh, let me go share this screen real quick. I knew it was something serious when you asked me. You were like, "Hey man, you gonna do a story on this?" I said, "I could arrange something."
What you about to put on the screen?
Come on, man. What you mean? Hold on, make sure I'm set up right. Hold on, make sure I'm set up right. Hold on, let me put this right here so we can see what I see. Oh shit. Oh, say it ain't so. I'm going to read just a little bit of this and we're going to get into what actually happened. But Twitter, his mama named him Twitter, so I'm going to call him Twitter. Online sloths.
Yeah, we don't say X.
We don't say X. His mama named him Twitter.
Malcolm.
Or is that Sluice? Quickly found that some accounts posting about U.S. politics, including those in support of the MAGA movement, appeared to not be based in the United States. X launched a feature over the weekend that displays users' locations, renewing scrutiny of the provenance of many accounts, including those that post frequently about American politics. Not to get too deep into this one, I think this will give a little bit more context. I couldn't wait to light this nigga up. Drake reacts to Kendrick Lamar fan account being exposed for posting from India. So, first of all, before we get into this,
I didn't even know he did this.
This literally just happened 3 hours ago. But it's funny that he the person that's laughing. It's like, I know you ain't laughing. Like, two of your homies is bagging on each other. Like, I know you not laughing. Yeah. This is one of those because a lot of his fan accounts. So, matter of fact, I want you to take the lead on this one. Give the people a little bit of an idea about what the hell happened on Twitter the other day. For those who missed it.
Location getting.
This is about hip hop first too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, location of getting happened. Well, when Elon Musk, just another to throw wrench and everything. He did the feature where it displayed where you were doing your X from, where you're located. Twitter. Oh, I said X.
Yeah.
But, your Twitter.
Who are you?
And it came out just like, you said in the story with the political accounts. It came out the same thing with the music accounts. And obviously, this became a Stan War thing because let's keep it gangster. You know what? The one thing I also found funny, the only people who are this is a big story, and people are on Twitter at least, and people going back, but really the only fan base is going back and forth, and you've seen pictures, are Kendrick and Drake. Because like it's not like you see like Tyler the Creator comes like, oh, he's like nobody cares. It's just everybody just like it's like the Spider-Man meme where it's like one person's like, you're from India. And then it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card they throw down. Well, let me throw that one. You're from Tel Aviv. And it's like, you're from Israel. Bang. And it's just like, so a bunch of major
including this one
accounts became what's it called? Outed that they weren't in America. Now, I know we're going to talk about this, but I want to say this, right? Because this is the when the Owls got a hold of this, and when some of the worst things got a hold of this, it started like the first day it was like hilarious and like getting to people, but then it started feeling like it took a weird turn, like it's starting to take a weird turn because the first accounts that were getting exposed, and I even had like a super viral tweet because there was one tweet, one of these pages that was saying nigga, all this was saying that and it came out that they were in, I think it was Israel. And I even tweeted, because they tweeted about me and be like, oh, this is an ugly nigga. And I tweeted and I said, a what? And I had a meme from Dexter with the black dude who like doing that. That shit went crazy. And that I participated in all that. I was like, yeah, all them accounts that were saying nigga, all them accounts that was pretending they was in California, all them accounts that was pretending they was in New York, all of them that was, and here's the thing too. Hold on. Using that in my bad. Am I going to?
No, you're good. I'm not stopping you. I'm not censoring shit today. We going all the way. I just want to make sure I put this in the conversation. Here goes the guys that runs Academics TV. You know, the one that calls out a lot of black women, a lot of black men conversations. This is the self-proclaimed chat nigga.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell.
Somebody found his LinkedIn page. This is the guy reporting from Australia. This is chat nigga. This is Academics' biggest moderator of another account. That's the guy that is involved. That's the one that you're arguing with. That is the Grand Wizard chat nigga. Crazy.
You know, the crazy thing is I always had a picture of him. I never posted it because I didn't want to, whatever. I actually had a lot of information because he was one of the people that was super pushing them fake tweets. Like that was like like literally, and I even had some, my legal people hit me up and be like, do you want to like pursue this? Because obviously, and I said, nah, because especially at the time, if I did anything sue or like people who don't understand anything, but you're a mother dick. So I was like, it's not even worth it because people are stupid. But so the thing that the people that were doing stuff and like saying, because that person on that page was saying some of the most vile stuff about black people that was like disgusting, nigga. Like absolute, where it's like those are the people I love. Shout out to Elon. That might have been the best thing you ever did. That was beautiful. I loved it.
A rare Elon W. That's a rare Elon W.
Rare
Elon W.
Holographic Charizard, rare Elon W. But what I'm saying is, what I was saying is, it started getting to a point where everybody, I started seeing like I saw it with the Drake fans first, where they were just like, well, this person is not from America. This person, and it'll be an account that would be like, they'd have like an Irish flag in their bio.
It's literally in the bio the whole time.
And I was just like, okay, I think it's not a gotcha moment just to be like, because I saw a tweet that had me dying. It was like, dang, it's looking like some Americans are figuring out other countries exist.
No, dead ass. But see, because somebody tried to like accuse me, because I had a bunch of stuff to say. Let me actually pull this up really quick. I had a bunch of stuff to say because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm gonna
hold on. While you pull that up, let me just finish what I was gonna say real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Those people that did all that stuff and was cosplaying like they were in America just do cause fighting. The people who were literally, there's people who be like, man, don't nobody listen to Kendrick in New York, for real. Let's keep it real. Don't nobody really listen. And then they're from Pakistan or something. You know what I mean? So
no. Like, how about this one? You mean you ain't talking about this gentleman right here? You ain't talking about him that was cosplaying like he from New York. He got the banner with New York, all of this.
Yeah, that's the.
He got the
And then
NY
you say
fitted.
you're in, like, that's the thing where you're saying you're in, your location is NYC. That's crazy.
And
So those
he's from
people, but
Ghana.
like,
He
if
from
if you never pretended like you weren't in America, or you never like, because there's somebody who tweeted me when I tweeted, it's like, yo, you know, I'm not in America, da, da, da. And they're trying to be like, I'm not like a vulture. I just like da, da, da. And I checked his page,
right.
you know, and that he was tweeting about anime, tweeting about, he's from the UK, tweeting about Dave and stuff. And I was like, bro, I don't want it to be a thing where, because it's starting to feel like people are missing the point. And it's just like, if you're not in America, you cannot,
I'm not
your
buying that,
opinion
bro.
doesn't matter. And
I'm not
like,
buying that, bro. Them same bots that created this bullshit is creating that argument too, I believe.
Yeah, and I just be like, that's not fair. Anybody can have an opinion. You can always have your opinion and go, well, if you're not in America, speak on American things. I don't take your opinion as valid, but like, we all consume things from different cultures, and we all have opinions on it. Like, we all, like, a lot of us are driving foreign cars that weren't made in America. If we check the tags to a lot of the stuff we're wearing, it was made in Japan. If we look at the food, a lot of the food we eat is from different cultures, and we have opinions about that stuff. So I don't want it to be like a xenophobic, like, how dare you be from somewhere else?
No, that's not we know how global hip hop is, and we embrace that. Like, I love seeing footage of, you know, folks from a whole nother country who are embracing Tupac because of the passion that they see, even if they don't necessarily understand all the words, just the love. But peep this shit out though, right? So somebody came to me and he apologized, but he came kind of hot and angry at me. He said, so you believe that those who are not African-American or pure-blooded American don't have the right to discuss hip-hop with you? I find this attitude arrogant and inappropriate. That's the same perspective you just got, right? From somebody else?
Before you go on, I start getting scared when we start using words like pure blood. That's when I go.
Like, when I seen that, I was like, let me dead this. I said, discussions based in respect and logic are welcomed. However, no culture has any business infiltrating and attempting to rewrite rules and codes of other cultures foreign to them. The same way I have no right to walk into a sushi restaurant and speak on their Japanese traditions. I am a guest in this situation, but when you try to change rules and you try to change rules of a culture that you have never stepped foot in, you don't have any kind of lineage within that conversation. Like, you got to just know your role the same way I couldn't do the same thing to his culture. If there's like a very specific African culture that he's defending, I could never do that because that's not the experience that I've had. That is not my bloodline, all these things that matter. But he apologized. He was like, you're absolutely right. I apologize. That's not the point. It's just a matter of these folks have been getting in these conversations from all over, from India, from Thailand. And I said, dog, this is who you've been arguing hip hop with.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
This is who you've been talking about your cultural significance. This is who you've been trying to tell about regional pride. The person you arguing with ain't even proud about where they from. That's why they hiding it.
Oh, shit.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. And it's funny because Wale even responded to this one, and he's like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed with you because I really was out here giving these niggas a whole thesis.
Yeah, well, that's what man, you remember, I'm pretty sure we talked about this a while back. Remember the whole dead internet thing? Like, beyond the fact of, like, let's stop where you're from and stuff like that. This should go into the dead, where I go, like, it's not even so much that you might see these things and it says this person's from Israel and you see, but it might be one person who owns 7 different accounts. That might not be a person. That might be a bot farm in Israel, a bot farm in India. So that's where I go, like, hip hop is international, right? And one thing I do think is, like, Americans, we need to think, especially when we're on the internet, there's more foreign. That's why, like, the biggest things on YouTube are foreign music, because there's more foreign people than that. So, like, if you're on the internet, you have to remember the entire globe is seeing this, right? So you probably are going to get a lot of counts from different places and different things like that, just in general. Just like if you right now probably, like, scooped a portion of your subscribers, like scooped it, and then saw where they was from, you're gonna get some from all kind of different. You know what I'm saying?
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful thing. So it's not that you don't have the right to speak on something. You could have your opinion. You could. It's just specifically the people who were. It literally happened to me where somebody called me a nigga and ended up not being black. Where I went like, those are the people you have to. And these are the people who, bruh, I'm talking about. Eugenics level of racism, talking about like his nose and his lips and his black, and then you figure out these niggas ain't black. That's why I go, no, these are the people. Like it, I don't, when you're pointing out this, that, and the third, it's like, bro, let's see where you're from, who you are, and no matter even if you're from the United States,
where your grandma stay,
no matter if you're in the United States, that's still not okay. But it's just like pretending that you're not, and that's why I remember when we were talking about What's the Dirt, and I said the only respect I'll give to him is that he shows his face. It is
we all know that he's that white guy. Continue.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the thing that kills me are those faceless accounts that are just here to argue. And another thing that I feel like we're not talking about is who's really to blame for all of this is Elon. Not because he released these things. It's because he monetized attention on Twitter.
No, you said that. That's where we really get to a point where I was like, somebody had a tweet that said, and this is no disrespect to any of my subscribers from India, but when they found out like a lot of these pages were from India, somebody said, oh, them niggas is working overtime for them Twitter checks. Because at one point in time, a bad take makes you the same amount of money as a viral good take. So why wouldn't you get on here and just disrupt more? Because people are arguing.
More people going to engage with it.
Yeah. If I can walk away with a $2,000 check and the price of living is very different from where I am from, there's a lot of people who take that and say, fuck integrity. I'm going for that. That's mine. And on top of that, it's about a culture that I have no kind of connection to emotionally. I kind of like some songs, but I really think that the people from where I'm from are a lot better. Not saying that's for everybody, but I'm saying if that is the psyche of just one person. You know, one of my favorite YouTubes to watch, and I forget the name of the channel, but I watch his videos. It's a dude with glasses, and he always like hacks the call centers and the scammers, and he'll like get into like their webcam, and he'll be like,
I guarantee I know.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I know somebody in here knows, but it's a dude. He has like shades on, and he gets in there and uses like the voice changer, and he's like acting like an old lady, and he's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and just be fucking with him. So I say that to say, I think that the same kind of call centers that we see that pop up in these videos from YouTube, why wouldn't that be a call center? If you know that one person has the ability to make one tweet that goes so viral during a month that you get $1,000 for that one tweet, imagine what a room full of people can do.
Another thing go ahead.
No, I was gonna say one last point I was gonna make about this. Hold on, let me get this because I definitely want you to cook. Man, look, can we just give roses to my dog Screwface? It's always a great conversation when you pop up here, bro.
It's just fun, bro. Like this be my time to get my little thoughts off.
Please do. Ain't nobody trying to hear that slave music. Stop with the Harriet Tubman music, bro. Kendrick's a fake revolutionary. You West Coast rappers have no culture. And I said, it's probably him. It's him probably. It's not him, but it's him. He ain't got no shoes on. He just in there talking shit. To the point that we're making, though, I want to make sure I get this one here. Because I want to make sure I actualize this.
Kid Booga, by the way, who you're talking about. Yeah,
Kid Booga. Yeah, dog.
Yep, they said it in the chat.
Oh my God, it'd be cracking me up. Here's something else, too. If bots inspire social media arguments, like the comments you get, how many videos have we made where we was like, man, I got the craziest comment on my Twitter the other day. We about to react to that and I'm about to give my point of view. I said, if bots inspire social media arguments and those arguments inspire podcast episodes, who has truly been influencing the pod content and narratives we choose to amplify?
It's true. Yeah.
That's that. And this lady here said the CIA. Okay, there it goes. But this is what I wanted to get to. I want to make sure we put an actual face and an actual reality to this. For those of you that have never seen, it's a 35-second video. But I said, you ever see a dumbass taking your comments with 50 plus likes talking about ratio? Yeah, y'all stay safe out here.
Oh
I
yeah.
I want y'all to see what this looks like. This is called a box phone farm. Because sometimes we wonder, like, how do they get so specific with the things they say to us? This has to be a real person. Well, it is. It's just you don't know how real this is. Check it out. So she is dismantling the motherboard from a phone. I'm gonna actually mute this, and installing it all within something that looks like a PC box. And basically, that PC box can hold between 16 and 20 phones. These are all the phones right now that are popping up. So that means you could blast out one tweet from one of these, and you could engage on every single one of those phones that act like an individual person.
Oh,
This shit is insane.
This happens so, man, this is when we're going back and just saying, like, those people you be arguing with be bots, bro.
They be
like,
bots,
people
bro.
you be arguing with be bots. And, you know, as somebody who has family in Nigeria and has people out of states, the one thing I will say, too, though, is you also got to look at it like when you have drug dealers in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go, F them drug dealers, right? But then you also go, what you should really be saying is F the conditions in which people were put to force them to have this as their only option, right? So you got to think, and this is me also trying to take a little accountability. You got to think, bruh. And I find myself doing this all the time. I don't know if it's an American thing. I don't know if it's just an internet thing. I don't know if it's a human thing. But why does that rage work so much? Why do people know to a point where people can make entire business models of you being upset and engaging with something, and it works every time? I go, because I think it might be a human thing. I think it's a human thing, but I also go, and I do this too, because we'll see, you'll get 100, you'll get 20 good comments, or not 20 good tweets. You're the greatest, man. I love you. You changed my life.
That one is going to be bothering you the most.
One that says something, and for some reason, that's the one you engage with. And by you, I mean me. That's the one that we.
And no, by you mean also me, because I've been on YouTube for a long time, and I didn't have some embarrassing moments where I didn't clap back in the comments, and I'm like, what am I doing? They got me.
Where it's just like, even if it's not embarrassing, even if you because 98% of the time the nigga gets dunked on, boom, they get out of there, might hit him with a block, whatever. But even then, they still kind of got what they wanted a little bit. You know what I mean? It was the engagement.
And I never walk away from there feeling like I won something.
Yeah, and I don't, because I would always be the person who, especially back, and I still do this on Twitter. I'm not acting like I'm better than some of my parts. I still do this. So it's like, I just try not to be on X as much anymore. But like,
that's a crazy statement, by the way. Give what you just said 10 years ago. You try not to be on what?
But so I did when I do engage, it does help me because my Twitter is monetized, and that pays you. But here's the thing, that the problem, one of the problems, I love monetizing social medias for content that you create. Like YouTube, you make a video, good, bad, people interact with it, you make money, you are creating videos. I think it becomes a problem when you're literally getting paid for essentially comments. You're not even getting paid for creating anything. You're just Twitter, like, you get paid for just posts. Just like you can post them, the post goes crazy, you're gonna get paid for it. So it's like that becomes dangerous when you don't really have to create anything. But rage. Like, you don't even have to actually, because there's a lot of times when maybe you've been I know I've been in, where you maybe did a video and you were like super angry, maybe you were clapping back at somebody, and then before you I did this because I called you. So, and we deleted it or changed it, or like that wasn't the right one, because the process of making it, looking at it, editing it, maybe getting some other opinions, by the time you get to that thumbnail, there's a lot of steps there. And I feel like if people had to create to monetize on Twitter, it'd be completely different. When you can just, you're gonna pay for pictures. It's beautiful if people use it the right way, but human nature is never gonna use it the right way. We're gonna always try to find a way to game it.
Gonna always game it, but I think that's what makes this move, which seems so simplistic, of location exposure, it makes it so, to me, so brilliant. I got to give props for props to do. I'm not the biggest Elon Musk fan and the things that he says, especially the racist shit that he says. But I looked at that and I said, that's pretty gangster right there. Like, I'm going to put the locations up there and you're going to see how many of these people are not actually in the U.S. involving themselves in the rage baiting and the anger and fanning the flames and lighting the matches of people who are passionate. It's almost like it's an attack on the passionate, knowing how much you care about something. Somebody who doesn't care about anything outside of the income it can generate is now engaging you on whatever button that they can push. Dog, during that battle, I had my blackness question. I had my
Welcome
mother
to the club, man.
Dog, like my mother, who was a black woman, being told like, oh, that, of course you were mothered by a white woman. I'm like, Rochelle is a white woman now? No disrespect to no Caucasian, but you gonna make Rochelle a Karen? It was the most insane shit, and I feel like I'm better for it. I don't give them thanks for that, but I feel like I'm better for it because I came out of that situation like, I think people are really nasty. Brother. And then I come to realize it's a nigga from Vietnam that's really nasty, and he don't even got an attachment to the shit that he's saying about me.
You know what's the craziest thing? Like, one of my, probably, I mean, I'm not gonna say because people gonna know, but dude is like a tough. Like the dude I'm talking about, tough, and I know for like belt to ass type niggas type nigga. Bro, this boy hit me up and was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This Twitter shit be making me depressed. And when I knew when he said the word depressed, because he not that type of nigga. Like,
don't get
whatsoever. And when he said that shit, I had to just respect it. And I had to be like, dog, no, you're 100% true, brother. Like, it goes for everybody. This shit, people forget that who created this, what it's created for, what side of things he's on. And it's like we consume it so much and it's so bad for us, bro. It goes back to the low vibrational thing we're talking about. This shit is destroying our spirit. Like, I'm gonna keep it tall. It's so easy. My biggest thing of 2025 is, I will call this the year of, I feel, government. Let me not say government. Let me say whatever psyop it is. Right. The theme was infighting. For 2025, the theme was infighting amongst all groups of people who look the same, are the same, have the same. Americans are fighting Americans. Blacks are fighting blacks. Spanish people, blacks are fighting brown people. Brown people are fighting black people. Meanwhile,
black women are fighting black men over relationships.
Black women are fighting black men. Black men are fighting black women. Women are fighting men. Men are fighting women. Different sexes, different orientations. Everybody is fighting. Everybody's trying to find a gotcha moment. Everybody's trying to find a bad tweet. Everybody's trying to find. It has gotten to the point where it's just like, and that's, bro, it's, wow, this is a crazy 360. It goes back to that Disney song I was telling you about. It felt like when I heard that song, all of that shit, like, it's like I saw it. I saw like, holy shit, this is what I've been doing, or this is what's been going on. This is the world we live in. And that thing like snapped it out of me for like a second. And then like where I went back, where I just like, oh, brother, like this shit, this is so crazy because I knew shit got crazy because I started just getting to like, I need to just find community. I need to find people who think like me.
Yeah.
I need to find, because I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired, bro.
Can I speak on? I want you to get your point, but I want to make sure I don't forget. I have something to say about that right there. Continue though.
Yeah, well, I'm tired of it, bro. Like I understand how engagement works. I understand how, and I'm gonna tell you, 99% of this lives on Twitter. I'm gonna keep it tall. 99% of this.
It's so fucking toxic, dog.
You can go on any other social media, bro. It don't be like that.
It don't be like
it's just like
Remember in the
The
group chat,
amount
I
of
was
times,
asking, I was like, what's that blue sky looking like over there? Remember I
bro,
asked that
I'm
in the
gonna keep
group
it
chat?
real. The fact that you even said that you have fought your identity during
Yeah.
this shit lets me know this shit's more of a psyop, bro. Do
Dog,
you know how many, bro? You're not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth black person I've talked to
that's
of
crazy.
all different. I mean, that been like, yeah, in 2025, I called myself on Twitter defending my identity, and I was like, bro, this shit is like a weird. It's
I,
so specific. It's so
Screw.
like a.
That's what makes it dangerous, is that the buttons that they're pushing are so specific. It almost feels like it's a part of the same
Plan.
era that we got Chat GPT, that's able to get into the specifics about these are the things psychologically that will make this type of person flip or this type of person get a reaction. Because it feels like a psyop. It feels like this is a psychological war upon people to get them to be so argumentative and fight all the time to the point where they have very little energy to do anything in real life.
Anything else? But here's the craziest thing about this shit is I feel like it's so obvious what's happening and why it's happening because let's keep it real, bro. A lot of this started Trump's second term, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of this started
during
the campaign.
Got ramped up.
It's like, to me, it's like, not even to get super political, but let's get political. You know, when people talk about like, the Epstein thing was they didn't even try to cover that up. Yeah. They just like murked them and didn't even, like, back in the day, they used to cover up when the government did.
There was an effort. It was an effort.
I feel like that's how they're moving. Before, when they used to do like little government side, they try to be sneaky. Now it's just like, no, nigga, you know what's up. We know exactly what we're doing.
It's no longer an art form.
Yeah, they're heavy-handed with it. Like, they don't care.
They like, and nigga, and what?
Exactly.
What you finna really do about it?
Bro, some of those MAGA accounts that got found out that they weren't American accounts, the way that they were pretending they were American, the way that they were talking about immigrants, the way that they were, and then there would have been immigrants themselves is nasty. Like, that's where I go, like, it starts getting to the point where I still believe a lot of those accounts that they found are on farms. I don't believe it's like every one of those is a person owns it and they're in Israel, or a person owns it and they're in Pakistan. Or they're I believe
that cut and dry. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe a lot of them shits are faceless bot accounts that are from. That's just where the what's it called? Stream farm is located. That's what I believe. So it's like, it's so obvious, I feel like, what's going on, that I just go, I hate that it's working as much as it's working, but like, it's clearly a distraction so we don't pay attention to what's actually going on. It's like, bro, we losing so many freedoms, so many, like, every day and we're on Twitter over here talking about dumb shit. Like, and to me, like,
dumb shit that's inspired. No, you're good. Dumb shit that's inspired by narratives that feel very intentional about being as anti-intellectual as possible, as low-hanging fruit as possible. But the only goal that they have, it seems, is to get a reaction, and not just any reaction. It's easy to get a reaction for dumbass shit. Get a reaction because they know that it cuts. It touches on things, like, especially when it involves family, especially when it involves, like, I call these niggas docs and demons all the time. When I see stuff like that occurring more frequently, I'm like, nah, this shit is evil, bro. This shit is genuinely evil. What I was gonna say, and I want to make sure we get some time to talk about this coworker music so we can end on another note. But you definitely opened up Pandora's box on a lot of this shit, because it's funny, you mentioned this last time. Like, I don't think these are really all Drake stan pages. I think some of these, you said that last time. You were like,
I was like, bro, I know there's like a crazy conspiracy theory, but I was like, I don't believe a lot of these niggas be even liking Drake. And I'm telling you, when you find out, I'd be like, all right, okay.
And now we got locations that are like, they have no allegiance to anybody except for that check that they get at the end of the month from Twitter.
I've been saying it, and
whatever label they may be a part of too.
And that's not to say if you're from a different country, you can't be a Drake fan. But I'm saying that I bet you, I'll just put it like this. I bet you a lot of, let me not put a number to it. I bet you that there's a percentage of those that don't listen to Drake. And I've been saying this since right after the battle, because you gotta remember, bro, I was a big Drake fan going into this shit until he turned into Lawbreed. I was, and I went like, bro, where did these new Drake fans come from? Where they're like MAGA Drake? I don't believe like.
Why do we have MAGA rap?
Yeah, like I don't even get like when like Drake, that never was a thing, and I feel like Drake leaned into it like an idiot, and then now he's figuring out like, damn, I've been leaning into these goddamn bot farms and not even if he didn't know, but I'm just saying like, it's just man,
it's nasty work. It's nasty work. Boy, oh boy. Well, I'm hoping that y'all are getting a little. Let me get this super chat real quick. Appreciate you, Cope Sanity. I'm one of the percentage of people who have never and never will get a Twitter account. I have other socials, but never go back and forth with people. It's a waste of time. As Curtis said, go touch some grass. You know, but the tricky part about it is that we say that until they find your button, right? And then on top of that, it's not just them pushing. Let me say it. It's not just them pushing your button. Let me speak for me, transparent. I've never said this on my mind because I never want to come off like this. Like I never want to be seen as someone who is not able to take the heat because I give a lot of heat. But this shit got so unrealistic. It got so disrespectful. It got so dehumanizing, and it was constantly it got to the point where I wasn't even talking about Drake or Kendrick, and anything I said about anything was like attacking something that they thought I would respond to. And it became such an onslaught. The onslaught plus the bots that came there, the real bots that you can tell that are obvious, the ones that they were sending a bunch of shit like, oh, Drake better, hashtag whatever Taylor Swift, This shit got so bad. It got to the point where it was like, first of all, I was engaging with too much of it, but my energy was so low after going through these little bullshit conversations. And then on top of that, guess what? I wasn't leaving the house as much. I'm not blaming that. I'm just saying in general, I wasn't leaving the house as much because a lot of my work is from home. Vitamin D levels drop. And along with that sets in a depression. I'm more susceptible to depression. Then these comments all of a sudden that I'm like, I ain't paying you no mind. All of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'm just pissed off at this lack of energy enough to say some shit to you. And then it's never ending. And then all of a sudden you see 100 people come and like their shit. And it's like, nigga, 100 people agree with this bullshit?
But you don't realize
that you don't know no better.
The crazy part to me, first of all, don't get a Twitter. The only reason I have one is because I'm a social media personality or I'm a personality or whatever you call me. And I need one. But the thing with me is, I guess my whole career, I've dealt with stuff. Like I've known how to like, cause being, okay, like it's gonna sound funny, but being like a big rapper in Nebraska, that was not something that people seen. That was not something that people, so I've been taking spears. So I'm very used to have very, very tough skin. But like, bro, you know, so like a lot of things don't faze me, especially on the internet and stuff like that. But you know what I've gone through. We don't even got to really fully talk.
We've had long conversations on it,
Yeah, where it's like that shit still don't break me in any way because I understand what things could be worse. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins who don't got clean water type shit. So it's like I get it, but it's like, yeah, bro, I think it's more, even if you're not depressed or you're not going through it, the overall energy, it's like what you say with the vitamin D deficiency. It's like there's an overall deficiency of it in the entire culture. Like I keep telling people, bro, do not, and people always say blame social media. I'll get more specific. It's not, it's Twitter. It is Twitter.
It is literally Twitter, dog. It's literally Twitter.
It's not Instagram. It's not, believe it or not, TikTok. It's not Facebook. It's not YouTube. It is Twitter. And Twitter is so potent, it'll mess up your algorithm for other social media. So you'll start, if you engage too much dumb bullshit there, you'll start seeing that dumb bullshit on your other shit.
And you'll start to believe these are the new narratives. Remember I told you earlier about how it felt like the algorithm was pitting black men against black women and you see posts that are like, you're not a real woman if you don't do this. You're not a real high value man if you can't afford this. If these are the only narratives you're seeing and you're not touching grass, you would be genuinely convinced, why don't we like each other as black men and black women? Like, why do we hate each other so much? When the reality is, if you got a friend group that you can go talk to, if you got a community, if you got a church, if you got some kind of thing where you are gathering in community, you see how much these are just arguments that exclusively live on Twitter. But the reality of it is, when you spend enough time anywhere and you expose yourself to it, even if you say I got thick skin, you expose yourself to it, you are still a human being. I don't care how gangster you may categorize yourself. You're a human being. And there's certain shit that you got your own doubts about. And if somebody gets close enough to, like, and my thing is this, Screw, this is the part that used to fuck with me so bad. If you say this shit in real life, I'm punching you in your mouth.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I can't get to you.
Yep.
And you just this is the first year in my 20-something years, I should say 20, about 10, 15 years of doing content that I done had about 4 or 5 diss songs put out on me. I done had Freaky Friday Dread try to put out videos because he saw an opportunity when I left the Culture United. I done had people making hit pieces on me on YouTube. And I'm like, I can't get to these niggas. I just want to get to you. I just want to talk to you. Let's come and talk to you. I just want to talk to you.
But see, that's why I was saying.
You know what though? That's the thing that I had to really get to a place that was like, that's because they see it as wrestling.
Yeah.
This shit was never real. And even if this not the real person we're talking about, this shit was never real to the bots either.
What's actually worse is to the people that it's real to. it's the two ends of that spear is the fact that there are people who engage with it and make these things and they don't care, but then there's also the people who engage with it at that level and do care. And I don't know which one's worse, because even I don't know if the bots have made. I think the bots have made. Let me not blame the bots because people are weird.
Yeah, because it's a human being behind them bots. Somewhere there's a human being behind those bots. Like this is not a computer making. This is not a computer making decisions on its own. This is somebody behind that says this is the new campaign. This is the new issue that we pressing.
But what I'm saying is like I think standum in general is also attributing to the low vibration shit, and I think on all sides, it starts to get to a point where it now I'll never allow somebody to make hip hop not fun for me. That's just not possible. It's like it's too much of who I am. But the fear, the problem with the internet is you can prove, if you want to prove something, you can prove it.
Oh yeah.
Because the database that you're using is the entirety of the world. And I think sometimes what we'll do is, and people got to be very careful of this, where they'll go, I even do this sometimes, we all do this, and we have to be very careful of this. An overgeneralization or generalizations on the internet are so much more dangerous than they are anywhere else. So like what you were saying, right? So this is what will happen. You'll see a video of some podcast, some red pill podcast, where it's some dude dunking on some dude who's like older, who's had years of experience, who's written books, dunking on some 18-year-old OnlyFans model. And the 18-year-old OnlyFans model is saying some dumb shit because that's an 18-year-old. She don't know nothing. And then what the caption would be like, women nowadays are so stupid. And what will happen is the conversation under that comment, under that video will be about how women nowadays are stupid. And now whether you're defending it or you're attacking it, you both got tricked.
Yeah.
Because instead of being like, this person says something stupid, you'll go, you know what I noticed this? I'm gonna say,
come on. That's why you're here today. Come on.
When the protest, when all the ICE stuff started happening in LA, in California, when there was those riots that were going down, and I started seeing how many people from all sides were on some tough luck, fuck them. Black people, fuck them. Let them do it, fuck them. And you'll be like, why? And you'll be like, because they voted for Trump. And I go, they? Yeah. Or the ones that voted for Trump. Right. So what about these kids that's getting snatched up? Did they vote for Trump?
That's such a great point. That's such a great point.
What about all these people who can't vote? There's a percentage of these people who vote who voted for Trump, yes. But when we start using that percentage to be the representation of that entire race, we are doing exactly what the racists want. And the new way of doing racism is white racists, or let me not just say racists, will, instead of them putting in work like they used to, putting on the hoods and going to do it, they'll drop something in the black community or drop something with black people and let the niggas do it. That's the new thing. And I keep telling people, man, be careful when you're, if you stare at the enemy long enough, do not become them. Yeah. When you stare at the void long enough, do not fall into it. And so much things I see from niggas now, I go like, what are you saying?
And do you really stand on that? Do you? Because that's not even the nature of our people like that. I mean, and maybe I'm making a generalization when I say that. That's not the nature of the people that I come up with, that I know. In that, it sounds like you're taking on the psychology and even the elitism of the oppressor, of massa, right? You're taking on the perspective of someone that you would see and say, it is unfair the way that we are treated underneath this regime. But you know what's ironic is that I felt like I started to see the same thing happen. That's why I'm glad you made it, that there's a bigger issue with fandom when we're talking about these stories, because I started to see some people who were claiming to be on the side of hip hop that really were on the side of Kendrick, and it's not his fault, but people who were starting to be just as nasty as them OVOs. Exactly. Just as nasty, and nasty about somebody who has a difference of opinion. And I'm like, isn't that what we were fighting for, is the opportunity to have hip hop on the front stage so we can have these healthy debates, have these barbershop debates? It became so nasty that they started to become just as nasty. And I'm not saying this to absolve the OVO folks, because I still got my personal issue. I call it OVO MAGA for a reason. But I started to say like, all right, yeah, we starting to lean in too much into the tactics of the shit that they do. That's not a good look.
I tweeted about because you remember when the OVO people were trying to make Not Like Us basically like a xenophobic song, like F Canada, this is about da 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 da. And this is the problem with stand-up, because I noticed this happened to Eminem too. Sometimes when you get so big and your stands grab something, you lose the narrative as the artist, right? So even the fact that people call themselves stands, they lost Eminem's narrative. They've already lost his narrative. They already don't get it. Yeah. So I remember when I saw people who were Kendrick fans, people that I've been following for a while, seeing their stuff, saying things where I go, Kendrick wasn't saying that. That's Kendrick wasn't. Fair. How did you get that? And then I went back and I found that what was it, that Hopper's Bizarre interview he did with SZA, and he literally says what Not Like Us is about. He goes, it's an energy thing. If you think this, and this, then that's the you're not like us. If you stand on this, then you are us. And the fact that after he said that, people still tried to use that as a thing, I went.
He said not like us. He really meant U.S.
Yeah, I was like, this is why Kendrick don't talk a lot. This is why he don't do stuff. This is why he even says it in his music. Like, this is where it's like, you're not even listening to the artist anymore. You've taken this for yourself, and now you've made it something that it isn't. Like, and that's why I even said too, it's like, bro, Kendrick's the international leg of the GNX tour was literally longer than the US leg.
Hello.
Like, Kendrick
what are we
is
talking
not
about right now?
I literally was like, so you think he had a, and then it's like, I feel like during Not Like Us, when we were seeing people in China playing it, people in India playing it in their weddings, we were all like, look, this is an anthem, this thing is going. And then it started becoming like a thing where it was like, no, this is, you can't. And it's just like, nigga, that's not what you think, Kendrick. That's not what Kendrick was saying. And this isn't me just thinking. This is
exactly what he said in the Bizarre interview. My thing is this.
It's a feeling, it's an ideology. You guys are falling for the, that's why I said, basically I was saying, you became the OVO niggas because they're the ones who started that narrative. Then now it's like they wound you up. It's like, watch. And then you just did exactly what they did.
Well, my thing is that the thing that Discord, because I just saw somebody who tagged me and Justin in a post where somebody did like, a very well, I wouldn't say well thought out, but he did a very like professional looking piece about the history of Canadian hip hop and the contributions they've made to the US and the and I'm like, they were in this video, this person was attacking Kendrick more so for Not Like Us being xenophobic than Drake not being aware of the actual history of where he's from. Why is he not bringing that up after Not Like Us? First of all. Second of all, if it was even just a hint of xenophobia, why the hell did he sell out the damn Toronto Stadium before the Canadian Light Bright did? Why did he sell out a stadium? Let me slow that down.
I also think this goes back to this shit is just on Twitter. This shit just lives on Twitter because I think most people know Kendrick didn't make a F everybody else song. What? And I even stopped and be like, this is how I know people are just stupid. This is another reason why I go, we are very important when it comes to, and why music reaction channels also are very crucial. And what I do is because writing comprehension and music is writing is at such an all-time low that I go like, how did you hear Not Like Us? And you ended up with that interpretation of it. To the point where now I know the reason why Kendrick and SZA did that interview is because Kendrick is like, niggas don't get it. All right. Because Kendrick don't usually explain himself and his music. He don't usually he's very more like Andre 3000 abstract. You're supposed to get it and debate it. He don't usually go, this was the reason, this is the thing, this is the list of things that makes it us or not.
Don't twist my words.
Niggas are misinterpreting this. Let me just tell you exactly what it is. And people are still like, hey, I think it was an F Canada song. It's like, nigga, he's performing in Canada.
Like, it's crazy to hear you say that he said these exact words, which is available in public to everybody to read. And niggas are still being like, nah, what he really meant is, nigga, he's the source. He's literally the source. And you like, I don't know if I agree with Kendrick saying that's what he made that song. He made the song. Where are we
I've seen people be like, I've seen people try to police people who aren't from America in America for liking that song. Like where I go like, so you think this is what Kendrick wants? You think this is why I start feeling with the Drake. Like, you think that's what he wants? You think he's happy about that? He's like, yeah, get all my international fans. Yeah, make them feel uncomfortable for liking my song. Make them go ahead. Yeah. Keep on telling them.
That's what I should do. That's what I should do before I do an international worldwide tour. Before I do a worldwide tour, I want to piss them off. That's what I want to do. That's the plan. See, y'all don't. That sounds like more like Drake Keisha planning.
That's what I'm saying. But the narrative started with those niggas.
Started with them.
That's why I go. Everybody is to blame because the narrative started with those niggas, but then I feel like there are certain niggas that ate it up. And I'm not saying a lot of pages. I'm saying that let me not take that back. Okay, it's Twitter. I do see a lot of things on Twitter about like Not Like Us and the comprehension of Kendrick and what he feels that I go like, he did say exactly. Like he literally basically did an impromptu interview with his with SZA before they went on tour. They probably did that shit while rehearsing, like in the middle of a rehearsal.
Right.
So it's just like, nigga, I'm telling you, he was probably like, yo, we need to tell people so we don't start going on the road. And it's like, bro, when he goes to Mexico and you see these people, the way they were singing Not Like Us, Canada, the way singing, like, why would you want to take that experience away from people?
You know the crazy thing about it though, we live in a time where the current sitting president, I think this is still one of the wildest statements ever, can be on a podium and say, look at my African American over there. We live in a time where the president said, look at my African American over there. And niggas was like, sign me up. Where the red hat at? Like,
oh yeah, niggas got to. They're eating the dogs.
They said, yeah, that finding somebody talking some sense. We live in a time where you could literally be on the receiving end of some disrespect and you still get people like, I'm a blindly follow. And I feel like Kendrick has done a really great job of making sure he clarifies his stances and then also leaves certain shit to just be left to everybody else, because if you don't get it, it was never for you. And now we're understanding culturally, and like I said, this is no xenophobia when I say this, but we're understanding culturally why there may be some moments of loss in translation, right? Where you're not understanding the nuance that exists because it's two different upbringings. The same way I couldn't understand an upbringing from somebody else about why these things are prioritized, why these things are different. And so I think we're living in a time now where it's like, I'm glad this thing happened. I'm glad it got exposed. I'm glad I seen shout out my friend Jim's. She was basically saying, well, if these Twitter accounts are not important, why, are we giving them attention? I think it's a problem when you're talking about some of these major rap media pages that are in charge of the narratives that get spread like wildfire, that end up controlling the narratives, end up being the biggest critiques of the culture, when you find out these are not people that even live nor respect it. You can tell by their tweets they don't respect it. You got to ask, what is your agenda? The same way, if I get inside, if I work, for whatever reason, I'm invited to work in a sushi restaurant, even though it's a Japanese tradition. I go in a sushi restaurant and I say, I think y'all should start selling fries. What is your campaign? Not that it's a bad idea, but what is your real purpose here? Like, what are you trying to do? That's not my place to do that. But some people do feel like because they have an audience, that is their place to do it. And I think that's where shit gets problematic in hip hop. And glad that shit got exposed, for real.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the better. I think more transparency. I said this before this happens. I don't think you should need an ID or anything to get on social media. But I do feel like there has to be a way to know if you're a person or not. I feel like it's a very simple thing, but it's like there has to be a way of knowing, like, okay, now that I know that you're not in America, I've seen how I know that this is a thing is because I've seen some pages come out and have to make like apologies. Now, like I said, there's no, going back to your sushi analogy, you going in there and asking them to have French fries is a no-no. You eating sushi and having an opinion on what you ate is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference, where it's like, basically my overall point was, it's a very minute number of people that needed to get exposed and dunked on because of the things they were doing specifically were nasty. I think there was an overshooting where people now have read it as, if you're not currently in America, then your opinion on that stuff doesn't matter. And I'm not talking disrespect, right? Disrespecting is disrespecting. I'm saying there's people who say like, why are you like, okay, one comment I cannot stand is when, say, it'll be like a Japanese person and they'll be like, man, I love this new Kendrick track. And they'll be like, shouldn't you be worried about samurais? It's like,
that's crazy.
What? Like worry more about it. But you see that shit where it's just like,
right.
And last thing I'm gonna say about this, we're in an era, you remember the early like 2000s when like homophobia was a bit more accepted, where people like, if you go back and watch those movies and from that era, and you, like, even using the F word was like way more common if you go listen to music more frequent.
Yeah.
I think just like, the era came when everybody had to apologize, we're in an era where xenophobia is, the way it's accepted is a little nasty, and obviously we know why.
Yeah.
And I'm telling people, be careful of what you're saying online. I bet you 10 years from now, you will be apologizing for it. Because some of the things I see where I saw somebody go, yeah, it's crazy that there's a lot of these Indian bot accounts, a lot of these people are India. But can we talk about why it's so accepted to like make fun of Indians on Twitter? And that's the one thing where I go, that is wildly, weirdly accepted. Like, if you go to a comment, like a video of like if somebody was Indian, it's like specifically Indians, where you go to, they're like, damn, that's okay, all right. When your kids find this tweet and be like, why were you saying that? She goes, oh, it was a different time.
It was a different time. Shit we be saying about 2010 and then 2005 and 6 and 7, yeah.
Exactly what Rory just went through. It was crazy. Everybody was.
You had to be there.
No.
It's a lot of crazy shit.
One of the people who puts their flag in the ground that I knew it was crazy in real time. I just want to put my flag. I knew it was.
Yeah, my goals were different at that time. when it was in 2009 or 2006 or 7, I was talking about my infatuation with Cougars. The point was to push the narrative. It was to set the bar a little bit something different. I knew what the hell I was doing. I was cougar hunting. Okay, I'm just playing. But that's what I'm getting at, is that we're in a different time where you're right. You gotta have to think about that. But also too, I think about these streamers who, for instance, I Show Speed goes to, some of these different places, maybe India, and you'll see like kids normalize and calling them a nigga, and they're not using the nigga with an A, like they're calling him, like these things that we're seeing. Like, yeah, you got to account for these, because these may be the new politicians in 15 years, and these conversations are going to come up. So accountability, which is something I think you've preached from the very beginning of this, is so important. You got it in you to do one more story?
Hell yeah, bro. We could do a couple. I don't give a fuck. I'm chilly.
Come on, man.
I'll tell you, I'll be
well, this one.
That's why I texted you, because I was just like, bro, yeah. I don't never have nowhere to be venting some of these thoughts and shit like that. And I kind of want to do it on a public platform too. And I know people are like, well, why don't you stream? Because, nigga, I don't quite understand what Streamlabs still. Okay, that's it. Well, once I fully get it, I'm gonna have people on my channel.
You got your friend here.
You got your friend. The same thing.
You got your friend here.
So,
like I'm
yes. Oh, let me say this. Gems says Africans get disrespected as well. Absolutely. Trust me, I know. Absolutely. But I don't even want to get in that, because I'll start getting emotional and say. And I think you should have that conversation live. Hit your friend up, bro. Like, I'm not even using Streamlabs or OBS right now. I'm using StreamYard. This shit is cake. This shit it does everything. It's funny you say that. Scru needs to see Hot Sauce Bottle Man. You know what's funny about Mr. Dax? There's a history that goes back further than the YouTube that I was exposed to, that involves the man that's sitting next to me and that Screwface. As I was telling Screwface about this concept that you may or may not have heard, let me just preface this before we get into that story, because I'm sure you got a lot of stories for this. Oh, yeah. Have you ever worked a job? I worked at Quiznos back in the day. That was like one of my last jobs that I had. I worked at Quiznos, and you ever had a coworker that once y'all get comfortable, maybe you're doing like the night shift, they say, yes. Like, what do you do outside of work? And you say like, well, I work on music. Oh, word, I work on music too. And then they play you that music, and it's like, it ain't good. It's not that good. But like, it's your coworker. So you ain't gonna say nothing too crazy, because he might be the person that covers your shift. But his coworker music, we just didn't call it that back then. It was just bad music. Well, fast forward to today, there is an entire category, and shout out to Anthony Fantano, because he gave me some perspective. I shot him a text. He did a video on it. He was like, coworker music is going crazy. I said, yo, what the F is coworker music, dog? And he described it from a different perspective, like how, it'll be like an abstract band that, somebody, one of your coworkers is into, and that becomes an extension of coworker music. However, when it comes to rap and hip hop, coworker music is so insane to me, because I have been watching content from a dude named Mac Danny. He is one of my favorite people to follow. I never be on Twitch, but I see his clips on Instagram, and he loves attacking coworker music. To give you a quick example of what the hell that looks like, I got this compilation right here that I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna react to. And we just about to get these jokes off. And if you are hypersensitive to this, this is your invitation to leave. This is not for the faint at heart. But we're gonna talk about this shit right here. Oh, we're gonna talk about this. Here go a compilation of people who are categorized as coworker music. You may see a few overlaps, but let's just play this compilation so you have an idea of what this is. This is on an account called Coworker Music.
You're like a Long Island iced tea. You got me fucked up. Wow.
Hello?
Banana phone.
You got fucking issues? I can't fucking solve them. Here's a fucking tissue. Now it's
not my fucking problem.
Brother. What are we doing?
This just look like YouTube rap. Like from 2016?
I forgot someone who doesn't even know.
Speaking of,
I forgot that I'm a villain. I forgot that I always spread positivity, but you think I didn't.
I'm running all over the place, blue in the face, looking like Sonic. Got up on stage around 9 9 and the next day they call it
What?
a con. In the finale, sometimes you're rocking on the back of the crown.
Who is this Action Bronson nigga?
Who is this Action Bronson?
Action Bronson. Who is this?
So it gets look, this is not the only ranking. We're gonna get to all of this, but this is not the only ranking. Hold on, we're gonna continue this because we gotta get a good idea of what this is, because it's
Bro,
not
this is literally just YouTube rap. If anybody remembers that era, please tell me you remember that era, brother. This is literally, oh my God, bro. You got the right one today.
Hold the thought, because I know you got a lot of history to give us on this. I just want them to get a full exposure to this world, because when I got into it, it was a rabbit hole that I became Alice in Wonderland about. I was like, where the hell am I at? Peep it out. Some of these are gonna overlap, but check.
1, 2, eat my fucking poo.
Your son just said that.
What you gonna do? You're gonna cry because I took you by surprise. Oh my God, how cringe, you guys.
Fuck you.
You'll be married in a year in the suburbs, with a kid on the way in 3. Convincing yourself you're living the
Dog, I can't.
American dream.
Well, what if I was Jackdaw Ripper? You an alley just to kill ya. Taking my time, pull out my knife, put in your spine. You talking all the shit, made me go from Jack, now I'm the Ripper.
Anxiety, keep on trying me. I feel quietly trying to.
Wait, is that just Doja?
No, this is somebody doing a cover with light coming out their eyes. And
is that dude singing right now?
That's his singing. He got his voice pitched up.
Silence me, anxiety, take it off of me. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
I'm running all over the place, blue in the face, looking like Sonic.
So I guess he must, whoever this dude is,
he's like the final level of coworker music. He
like one of the Jay-Z's of this shit. But no, he can't be the Jay-Z, because they say Dax is the Jay-Z of this shit. And for those that don't know, because I want to get into this history lesson, I'm so glad that Screwface is here, but I want to give y'all a full exposure, because this is the rabbit hole I went down, and I was supposed to go to sleep at like 11 p.m. one night. When 3 p.m. came around, I said, I got to do a video about 3 a.m. came around. I said, I got to do a video about this. So Dax, who's seen as like the president of it, he's the Jay-Z of this co-worker music space.
There's some people I guarantee you right now that are like this.
Because it's crazy that you hear
Dax.
Yeah, we're about to talk about it today. Shout out to
talking about this nigga so long. That's crazy.
Today's your day. Shout out to Mac Danny. This is somebody that I see his clips all the time, and I thought he was just laughing at rappers. I had no idea. He found his niche is literally making videos reacting to coworker music. And he says he's on a mission. He is on a mission to stop this shit. He said, bro, we got to help retire some of these unks doing this bullshit. But this is him reacting to a viral video where Dax did a duet video that went hella viral, where he's dressed up as the Joker, as you see on his thumbnail, and he holds up a bottle of hot sauce, almost like a microphone. He does his song and then leaves an open verse for somebody to come into here. And it brought all, you know how they say brought all the hoes out? It brought all the co-worker musicians out for sure.
I'm about to go.
Case in point.
You're in pain. I can tell by what you're saying, but everybody for the.
What the fuck is this White Castle slider doing?
For those who don't understand, he calls them burgers. Mac Danny calls them burgers. Why? Because the music is buns.
Follow me. Like the Joker, bro's looking like a freaking poser. I know that I'm an M fan, but this dude is just a big stand. Go back to Gotham, you freak. Halloween's not until next week. Listen to me rapping like rabbit. This freestyle thing.
You get the idea. I got more clips, but before we get into the clips,
crazy, bro.
Before we get into these clips, because I told you, we got some context here. This shit had me in such tears. I could not believe the rabbit hole that existed. But Screwface, when I bring up the name Dax, why was your first text to me, oh, you know we got history?
Wait, okay, I want to know, is there anybody in the chat who knows about I'm Not Dax in that era? Is there anybody in here right now that remembers that? I want to know if there's anybody who because that's like that's the beginning of my career type shit. Does anybody remember that? Because I want to know if okay, so it doesn't look like it. Somebody said kinda. All right. Well, no.
This might be a reference. Hold on. This might be a reference, maybe accidental, not the CEO of Coworker Music getting roasted by the janitor of Coworker Music.
The janitor, yeah.
That got some of your coding on it, don't it?
Yeah, Scru, I remember. Okay, there's some people that remember. Okay, so when I first, this is like 7 years ago now, maybe 7. Like I mean, like the first year of me doing YouTube type shit, maybe first, second type shit. So yeah, y'all know. So Dax was very highly favored back then. People were, it was a different era, bro. It was that's why I said this is YouTube rap, and everybody who remembers this knows exactly how corny YouTube rap was. And I kept, like, YouTube rap was the corny, it was like a bunch of white guys rapping fast, talking about, oh, I hate mumble rap. It was just like
rap gods.
Yeah, people who just like you hear them rap and there's just no soul. It's just they think counting syllables and rapping rap makes you good, but they're garbage. Like,
yeah.
So I remember at that time, it was a pocket, but we were still like a niche that people didn't know about, I think. But it kind of even spawned from like KSI and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Dax, people liked him back then. You know what I mean? And I did a song with him. So I reacted to one of his songs. He reaches out to me, I'm like, yo, let's do a song together type shit. Mm-hmm. He go, cool. I go, all right. And this was back when Dax, he was still a cornball, but he wasn't like, bro, I'm trying to tell you, the corniness that he leaned into after this is literally insane. If you go back and look at like him originally, and look at him, you go, what?
How do we get here? Yeah, how do we get? But you said he was respected. Can you kind of give us context of why there was such a respect for him at that time?
I think because the bar was super low. I think what it was because, I'm gonna keep it gangster, it was somebody who was affiliated with the YouTube community and was doing numbers well enough that they just, like, bro, it's so crazy to say some of this shit now. Like, I need to do a documentary about my story on YouTube.
You've been saying that. You need to do that.
It's so crazy to think now, but like having somebody who was like affiliated with YouTube be like a rapper was still like a novel thing at that time. Like it was still like, so people just championed him even though it was whatever. So I react to him and he reaches out. I go, yo, let's do a song. He goes, cool, right? So I get the song. I pay for the feature.
Wait, what was your reaction to it? Because you just said he was kind of like, it was kind of corny, but would you give like a positive reaction?
He was cool. Like I said, after our beef, like, in the middle of our beef, and I'm gonna get to that, why I think he pivoted into the whole Joker Dax. So this was before Joker Dax. Like, this was before, like, I think he leaned into that because he kind of had to. But this was back when he was still like, he'd be walking on a bridge doing a freestyle to Rap God, and of course he's still doing and I wasn't like super aware to like, he did the Catch Me Outside. I wasn't super, so I was just catching him on his freestyles. So I was just judging. I was like, okay, cool, he got choppy, this, that, and the third. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, let's do a song, this, that, and the third. So he goes, all right, cool. I pay him for the verse. Now, obviously, I know how this shit work. The scam. Yeah. I'm talking about like, yo,
they still running it.
I want to know what I get with this feature. I want to know this, that, and the third. So he's like, yeah, this, that, and the third. So I said, okay, cool. I get the feature. Get it, send it back to him. He doesn't promote it. And I mean, to a point where he acts like that shit didn't happen. And I still was like, all right, cool. I still respect the jokes. I hit him up and I go, yo, bro, how can I get you to promote this? Because I already know, you know what I mean? Maybe I was still a little young and naive and thinking maybe, because he likes the song. And I go, okay, let me, what do I got to do to have you push this? I'm thinking it's just like,
what's the price? What we got to do?
Exactly. Let's stop hacking. Let's stop beating around the bush. The nigga go, I think if you get a video, he goes, I think if you get a video, it'll actually be better. And in that way, I could XYZ. Bro, I wasn't who I am today back then. So I'm in here reaching in. I had to fly out my cameraman. I had to get the rooms in Cali. I had to fly out, me, my cameraman, and one other person, get rooms, get a rental, all this shit. Bro, I didn't have it back then. I did not have $3,000 to me was make or break type shit back then. So we go out there, and my boy smells it. I'm not gonna say it because my boy smells it. He goes, I don't know if I like this nigga. And it was random. It was just like a
random. The videographer or just somebody that was with you?
Somebody I was with. The third person I was with was like, and he kind of like my, you know what I'm saying? He was belt shit. So he was like, I don't like this nigga. I just don't like his energy. And I'm over here acting like he tripping. I'm like, bro, see, this is the problem, bro. This is why I can't bring you nowhere, nigga. You always trying to this, that, and the third, right? I don't know what he smelled that day. So Dax said, shoot this video. We could promote it. We go back. Nigga don't promote it. Nigga does not promote it at all. Video shot done. I'm asking him to the point where nigga started ignoring me type shit. I went, and I paid for the video too. I paid another fee for the video too, by the way. So I paid for the feature. Damn near paid the feature price again for the video on top of all that shit I paid, bro. This is make or break. If I didn't do this diss track, bro, I would have been so assed out. This story is legendary. So that's not even the straw that breaks the camel's back. Believe it or not, I'm still on some.
It gets worse, brother.
I'm on some humble, man. Nobody knows me. This is not Screwface million subscribers. This is like, I'm still on some scary. Well, he's so big. What if he this, that, and the third? So this is what happens.
I want to get blackballed. I don't want to mess this situation up because it can still spin back around. Maybe he's just busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
This was the last time I ever let this shit happen to me too. And this is a cautionary tale for all artists out there. So I went, all right, cool. So my boy, I'll just say his name, Crip. At the time, he was my boy. He was an artist back then. He's still an artist, but he got this. He also got a feature. So at the time, one, it made me feel a little type way because I was like, oh, nigga, so you just, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no, because I want it to be like, not even some selfish shit. This is the same thing why I tweet about the game shit where it's like, you try to act like this was some, no, just a one-on-one me, I'm doing this for you. You really just...
I'm looking out for the indies. Like, I'm trying to give back to the indies. No,
you really just knocking off as many features as you can take in these bags. I went, okay, cool. So I'm still not mad. So he reaches out to me and goes, yo, do you, since he didn't this, that, and the third, because he knew what was up, he goes, hold on. He goes, do you want to get on this track with Dax? So it's like, because he's bigger at the time, it was going to be an even better look. So it was like a oop where I was like, okay, if I didn't get my song promoted, and I can't even remember if my song had dropped yet, right?
Yeah.
So I get on the songs, me, Quadeca, Crypt, and Dax, right? Crypt sends me the original version. Like, he sends me the version that niggas didn't hear, right? Sends me the version. I'm like, cool, this, that, and the third. Matter of fact, you know when I heard the original version of Four Horsemen? On my plane ride back to Nebraska from Cali. And I'm like, okay,
after the video?
Cool. Listen, from back, and remember my boy was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So so the verse is cool. I'm like, yeah, cool, this is gonna be a cool little moment. Tell me why this nigga Dax goes, yo, I want to change my verse. He goes, I want to change my verse. He changes his verse, he disses us all in it. On the song.
What kind of nigga is you?
This nigga, I'm trying to tell you, bro, this shit a movie, gang. So I go, nigga, and you know I could be a hothead sometimes, bro. So I'll never forget, I was at High V, right? I was in the middle of High V, and Crypt had sent me the new verse. Bro, it was like I had my cart, and I left my cart, and I'm in the middle, just walking up, pacing, screaming. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you better not let it. And he had already sent the video on some sneak shit. Like, yeah. So he did it. I'm like, I was hot. I was like, bro, you better not this, that.
Were you already battle rapping in this time period?
Yeah, I've always been bad. I had one battle rap tournaments at this period. Bro, this is when niggas knew what I could do. This was the first time.
Why would he do that with you?
No, niggas didn't know yet.
He
was the sacrificial lamb that when niggas like, oh, okay, leave that nigga alone. He didn't know yet. Niggas didn't know yet. I'm still just on some, because I'm still really focused on the reactions to build a base to try to get my music off. I'm not really super in the, you know what I'm saying? So I'm doing that. The nigga disses us, I lose my mind, right? But I also feel bad because I go, this nigga paid for this verse, right? And I was on some shit like, nigga, send me that shit back. I'm finna get him back. And niggas was on some soft shit. And niggas like, nah, this, that, and the third. So the song drops. You know what the nigga said? He goes, I don't think niggas will know he's dissing us. When you get the time, go listen to the Four Horsemen and listen to the Dax verse. Bro, he says some shit like, oh, what the fuck did he say? It was such a blatant, it was like.
We just pull it up?
Yeah, you might want to just pull it up. Because he took a, it was so, and it was like, oh, so and mind you, he's already on my shit list. Already. And he changes his verse and disses us. And I just was, so I had to play diplomatic. Still, everybody on this song is bigger than me. I'm the smallest person on this song.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let this shit cook, whatever, this, that, and the third. So he goes, I don't think niggas think he's dissing us. Nigga, the second it dropped, niggas like, why the fuck is Dax dissing everybody? And that made me extra hot. Extra hot. So then I dropped this video. And bro, this is to show you how green I was in the game. Before I made I'm Not Dax, I dropped a video talking to my audience, basically asking if I should do it. Because I was like, do y'all think that this is going to be a bad idea? I told him the story. Everybody's like, bro, you better do this, this, that, and the third. And then I went, you know what? Fuck them. And then I'm Not Dax happened, and that 1.6 million views today. And that spawned a whole battle and the whole meme. Did I mention I'm a janitor? If you hear people making fun of that, like janitor Dax jokes, even if you don't know, that shit comes from I'm Not Dax. Like, that was my. Oh,
you the one. That's why you was dressed up as a janitor in the video, right?
Yeah, that was my first, like one of my most violent. That was like my first. So like the 1.6 million, like everybody was covering. That was the first time Jay Black ever reacted to me.
Wait, so that kind of launched you off. That moment kind of launched you off.
It absolutely did. It absolutely did. But see, this is how karma works.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked out with the music video song in the hole. 1.6 million views. I made more. I made that money back. And I went, oh, that shit is on. That shit, bro, that's still one of my highest streaming songs.
I just gotta do that because that's a DIYer story. You know how many people get screwed over at being independent artists, putting their trust in folks who have a bigger platform, and people don't understand, like, as much as these artists will say, I'm stepping off of my pedestal to help you, and I'm giving you the opportunity, and this is an opportunity that is not for everybody. It's exclusive, and you should be grateful. The flip side of it is, nigga, this is still a money transaction, and this is still me making a request for your professional services in a professional manner. And when you don't deliver on that, I don't care what your name is, how much clout you are, an asshole is an asshole. For you to go through that situation and then and not be depleted like a lot of artists would be in that situation, or even to be on some shit like, I'm gonna just out you on Twitter. You was like, nigga, okay, let's rap then. You gonna diss me? You know what the irony of all this is, and I'm gonna let you cook. The irony of all this is, this nigga's a shady coworker.
Exactly. No, he a piece of shit. I'm not like I've squat like I said, bro. My story is gonna be a movie one day. My story, because like Tech 9 is involved in this. Like Tech 9 helps squash it or like mitigate stuff.
Really,
like, there's legs to the story. So I dropped I'm Not, and let me tell you where I was in my life with that song, bro. That was a Hail Mary. That song that I did with him was my last amount of money I had. Bro, I was at the point of, I will never forget this, and I always tell this story. Before my first payment of I'm Not Dax, my bank account was in the red. And it was accruing a late fee because I couldn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
The job I was working at was some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting ready to quit. Bro, I'm Not Dax saved my fucking life. It literally did, because I did a Hail Mary. I took so many L's that I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. I was going to get in that cycle of you're fucked. Like, you just keep accruing because you can't pay, and then you can't pay because it's accruing. And then once I'm Not Dax hit that payment, wipe all that shit off. That's why I said it was better that he was a piece of shit. Because had he just retweeted it, it would have just been another Dax feature.
Another moment that comes and goes, but this is a moment now that we're talking about. How many years removed are we from when this happened? Like 2018, like 7 years?
I think it was 17, 18? Yeah, like mad long ago. And let me tell you why I think I know he leaned into the Joker thing. The first time he started, bro, he's been wearing that Joker makeup for like 6 years. He does that shit. The first time he started doing it was when the YouTubers, once I dropped I'm Not Dax, then it was like a floodgate where the YouTubers started bombing on him. Mm-hmm. He started taking the I'm the villain, Thanos role. That was his thing. He had to, because I'm gonna keep it gay. Oh my God, I gotta just tell it.
Yeah, he took that villain role on until
I think I'm gonna tell it for the first time on Curtis.
Please run this. Run this up, because
I think I'm gonna say it, bro.
I was gonna say he took that villain role. And it's funny because I just saw a documentary that was talking about how he became the face of coworker music, which is not a positive thing. But when he got into it with Tory Lanez and shit got real.
Hold on, let me tell you about that story.
Let me not jump at all. I'm not okay. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Yeah, the cap's off. I'm hot. I'm sweating. I gotta say it. Listen. The dude is in jail. I'm gonna just say it. This ain't no whatever. I'm gonna say it how it is, because I got to. So. I'm gonna tell it the way I can tell it without being too much a gunner. But okay.
Too much a gunner is crazy.
No, not gunner. Sorry, my bad. I rock gunner.
Hey, yo, you can't just say that before a story started. Think we just gonna move on.
Shout out to Gunner One. That was a weird reflex. I swear I didn't even mean to say gunner. It
don't matter how much you apologize. It's gonna always come back today. Don't tell me to shut up. Hold on. Whoever this is, tell me to shut up.
All right, so check this out.
Go ahead.
So Dax does the whole evil villain, whatever thing. At this time, I'm like, yeah, whatever. We do it like another round, go back and forth. This isn't even fun. I'm just thwapping his head, right?
Melt to ash, yeah.
So what happens is, if you know the story of I'm Not Dax, why my song's called I'm Not Dax, is because first Dax dropped a song called I'm Not Tory Lanez or Don Q. Mm-hmm. And it was I'm not Joyner Lucas or Don Q, I think it was called.
That's what it was, yeah.
And he was dissing Tory Lanez. And this is before Megan, obviously. This is before whatever. Oh, shit. All right. I mean, it's public. I've had videos where I'm talking with Tory Lanez. It's on my YouTube. Pretty sure it's on my YouTube right now. Like, you can go see. I muted the audio, but you could see us talking. So, and this was at the time of that thing. So the whole I'm not. Damn, shut up. Okay, so somebody reaches out when that happens because they knew about me and Dax's issue. Somebody
out to you?
To me.
Okay.
To me. And okay, the best way I could put this is I'm trying to find a way to say this because it's kind of crazy, but basically, Bert, I got people that love me. I'm gonna just say it like that. I got that thing that happened with Dax and Tory. One day, maybe on the Scru Jean movie, when niggas see how that happened, niggas ain't gonna believe it. Niggas ain't gonna. It's just, it was a. And that's why I ain't gonna lie to you. When the whole Tory shit happened, you know, Tory Bang, whatever, it hurt me in a different way, right? Because I've actually had interaction with him on kind of like a different level type shit. And like I said, like what he did was all that shit. I'm not co-signing that, but I will say that I know I'm sounding very cryptic, bro, but I'm trying to think of the way.
If you're being careful about it, I'm not gonna. You know, my channel is not about expose shit. But like, if you're being careful about it, I think that's your gut telling you. But if you can speak in code, I'll be more than. I think most people would be like, all right, cool. Like,
I'm gonna say it like, by the time I think Academics was one of the first people to cover that story. Let me just say, I'll just say he had when the story that's told, there's some inaccuracies to it, and
you're privy to the real story.
I'm very privy to the real story of what happened that night. I ain't gonna lie, Dax came out later and said some shit, but up until a point, he kind of held some shit down. I ain't gonna hold you. He kind of held some shit down for a while, but yeah, he fucked up. It's basically what it was. It was I didn't do nothing. Is what I ain't do nothing.
So basically, there are people out here who have Screw's best intentions in mind
in high places.
And in high places, and that can appear in so many that could appear in so many different environments. You got to be careful of what you say about some people because you never know who.
It's not just
internet connected to the conversation.
When you rapping in cemeteries on top of graveyards and you dissing niggas, or when potentially you've already built up some issues with people, you gotta you gotta move smart. You know what I mean? Because that story of the Tory Lanez Dax thing, I think a lot of people be like, so Tory Lanez did all that because he dissed him, and I'll be like, if you say so. You know that story never quite fully made sense. It was like,
I was watching a documentary and I was like, something about this feels like we got a missing piece. Well,
there's a missing piece. But like I said, the dude,
save it for your movie. Save it for your movie. You know what I'm saying? That makes it even more. I'm glad you built the suspense up today.
Yeah, but I think even he know. But it's just like that's where I go. Like he was doing a lot of people foul, and that was right when. Because remember, like when I did I'm Not Dax and. That was when I started bubbling. That's when so people were, even for right or wrong, he got everything that he deserved. And that's why when it came time to squash it, I was okay. I was like, all right, because there's a lot of niggas that to this day I got issues with for certain shit. And he did me crazy, on some cool, nigga, I would have been out bad. So it's just
well, you know, I just realized too, there may be a little context needed too. For those that don't know, there was a time period where Dax was just dissing a lot of people and he was saying a lot of crazy things. He was pushing the imagery because it was getting him views, and he was drinking that Kool-Aid of virality, and he started talking real crazy about Tory Lanez. And he was, I believe, was he in Toronto when this situation happened?
He was in Los Angeles, California.
Was in Los Angeles. And there's a famous video where you might have seen it as a meme, where he's looking very humble and he's apologizing for all of his actions online. Apologize, nigga. He's like, I'm sorry. I apologize. And it didn't really mean it. And he actually, I think he did an interview with Academics because
matter of fact, hold on,
the situation.
I can't tell the story because
he did an interview with Academics, yeah.
All right, so what had happened was, boom, let me tell you. All right, so I'm going to still leave some certain things out. But so Dax was acting crazy, doing stuff, feeling himself real crazy. I think there's another reason why he, that moment basically blackballed him from the industry. So what happened was niggas dissing people, ooh up the bam, niggas get calls, ooh up the bam. Do you know what's going on? Issues, ooh up the bam, da-da-da. Do you know this guy? Da-da-da. Just, figuring out what this song is about, why he's did. People didn't know who that nigga Dax was. Do you think Tory knew who that nigga was before that? No, he didn't know.
No, hell no.
It was something different. So what happened was he was dissing niggas and he was standing on niggas' graves. That was really what was getting niggas frustrated. And so niggas found him at a show. This was the wildest shit. And this is why I always tell niggas, like, bro, this internet shit can get you, like, chill, brother. Like, he was at a show in LA. Like, niggas wasn't gonna know that, right? And niggas saw him and he booked from the door.
Booked for it. It was all on video. Yeah.
And a lot of stuff happens before that video cuts on. A lot of stuff happens before that video cuts on. I'm gonna just tell you what the video doesn't show, potentially, allegedly, maybe, is way more, let me just say, cinematic. Is way more cinematic. There's a reason that boy was all out of breath.
He was so out of breath. He was, I apologize. And you can tell when somebody's had a humbling experience. That's all I'll say. That's code for it. You had a humbling experience where you're like, God, my antics got so close to me. Oh my God.
And I think all of a sudden his jewelry collection changed after that. I don't know.
Jewelry collect. That is a beautiful way.
Some people say that his jewelry collection was never the same.
That was quite Shakespearean of you, Screwface. His jewelry collection changed.
Not many people know that, but yeah, man. Some people.
Hey, slow down. It changed. I see the wordplay. This is why you are you. Okay. Well, how do you feel about him being now the face of like the cringe genre that many kids, and we can watch some more videos so they get a better context too. How does it feel now seeing like, dog, look at what you made for yourself. Look at the career you made for yourself. Look at the kind of ethics that you stand on with your content. Look at the people that embrace you and love you, not because you up here looking for controversial shit to lean into. Like, look at what your life is now compared to where you was at in the red, bank account looking crazy. You making a last ditch effort to try to get this feature. You still putting into your career. Now look at you. It's a polar opposite of where you're at. And you're thriving, dog. I'm proud of you. As my brother, I'm proud of you out here. How does it isn't it crazy now? I come to you not knowing any context about this, but seeing this person and saying, how do you become the Jay-Z of the most cringe the cringe genre of rap called coworker music? And I looked at you and you were like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy how life turns out. That's crazy how life turns out.
What I said to him is like, you know, we had a wild little journey. It'll be told one day. And the funny thing is, I had enough time where, like I said, he had a show in Nebraska. This was during our beef, like in the middle of our beef. He had a show in Omaha, right? Would you believe that I had radio DJs, promoters, all kind of, and bro, I'm telling you, I'm the only artist in Nebraska that's ever sold out a show locally. So like niggas know me. So bro, this is, and I'm from Lincoln. I'm in Lincoln. This niggas in Omaha talking about, yo, you can't come, don't come to the tech show. And people know me and tech are like this. They're like, yo, don't come to the tech show, this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here like, what? I was being told I couldn't come. And then one of my peoples literally said, it's because Dax. It's because Dax. He said, because Dax was on tour with him. And this was funny because me and Tech Nine's relationship got way stronger after that because I made a video because I respected it. I didn't show up. Any other show, Tech I'm there, right? I've opened up for Tech. I performed with Tech like numerous times. So it's like, I didn't even show up, right? I said, cool. I don't even want to make it hot for Tech. I don't want to show up and you know, whatever. So I'm chilling, get my money back. So I was chilling. Didn't go up there. And then I made a video about it. And I just said it like matter-of-factly, where I was like, I think I was reacting to Tech Nine as like, and I said some shit like, yeah, even though, because I thought at the time it was a Tech Nine Dax decision. Like where it was like a, you know, let's not mess up the show, Tech Nine, I made like a little side comment where I go, even though, you know, I got blackballed from the show, that's still my dude, that's still my guru, still the OG, right? And like, bro, as someone from the Midwest, like Tech Nine is Tech Nine for us, right? So Tech Nine reached out after that, and he goes, bro, I've been trying to hit you up, and I thought the number. He's like, I've been trying to hit you up for so long, because I thought Tech, because I met Tech when I was like 17, 16. I met Tech when I was there, and at a show in Kansas with Dizzy Wright, opening up for Dizzy Wright. Read a song.
Wow.
Yeah. Red Cups.
I know that time period. As soon as you said Dizzy Wright, I got smacked back to that time period.
Funk Volume, all that. Yeah. So
yeah, Hobson, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So I met Tech a real one, this, that, and the third. So I was kind of hurt and I gave him my number back then, bro. So this just happens. That whole Dax thing happened in like 2018, 19 or whatever. No, 2018. So I'm way older now. Tell me why Tech Nine has been continuously hitting me up. The number I gave him was my ex's phone number. I gave him my, like, at the time was her cell phone. So he'd been hitting her up this whole time thinking it was me.
Right.
And so he reached out to me on Instagram, and bro, I was late to Instagram. So like he reaches out to me on Instagram, and he's like, bro, I've been trying to get a hold of you, this, that, and the third, bro. Look, we got to talk. And he told me, like, bro, I would never tell you to not show up to one of my shows. That's insane, right? But then he also said, you know, maybe you and Dax can talk in it and this, that, and the third. Like, Tech Nine really like my guru like that. So I said, for Tech, I'm going to be okay, bro. And then it started becoming a thing with YouTube rap, where another thing with YouTube rap was very racist. It was very racist. Right. It was very. I remember niggas tried to cancel.
Was it the comments, or what was the comments, or was it the actual creators, or was it just?
It was the actual like it was like thinly guised racism. It was like where people were reacting to white boys saying the N-word. It was like,
hold on just a second. Hold on,
like a Tom McDonald era type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm about to say I cut out for a second. So if you said something, I don't know what happens. It might be an outage in the area, but it just happened where it cut out. But continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it was a real like thinly guised racist time, and what it started feeling was I was getting super championed up for attacking Dax, and I'm black first. So what I started seeing was a bunch of white boys jumping on the bandwagon that he didn't really do anything to. He took a lot of money from it. And I started realizing it was like the cool, hip shit to do. And I started feeling like, because not only is Dax black, but he's Nigerian too. So I started feeling extra like, all right, bro. Now this is starting to turn into something else. And it's starting to feel like some, what's it called? Buck fighting. That's what it started to feel like. And I couldn't even explain that back then because it was such a racist time. But I laid off him not because I was cool with him or that, but more because it started feeling like, oh, what audience is really celebrating this?
It's like that Dave Chappelle quote when he talked about why he stopped the show. He was like, he started doing all of that. He started doing these jokes where, like, you know, he was in the blackface and he was getting some of these like white writers or production hands that were laughing a little bit too hard. It was like,
yeah,
am I entertaining my folks still, or am I entertaining the very people that I'm supposed to be making a political statement about, our public statement about? You end up kind of adding to the conversation or the entertainment of people.
Well, I also got tired of white boys who the only black person they affiliated with online was me going. I started going like, all right, I see what this shit is, this, that, and the third. But I think Dax was trying to do, because at first, before I'm Not Dax, he was trying to, because he was doing Vlad interviews, he was trying to do the I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a serious rapper rollout. And I think that I'm Not Dax thing, and I'm not just saying just me, I'm saying that whole era, that's what I call that era, stained him so bad between the Tory Lanez stuff, between all of YouTube attacking him, between that, where I think he started leaning more into the I'm a joke, I'm not a serious thing, I'm going to wear the Joker makeup, I'm going to be, he was always a cringy dude. But like, bro, I saw a video where he was rapping to like, in the shower with his clothes on to like a mannequin.
Wait. You know the first rule of YouTube: show don't tell. So show don't just don't tell. I got video.
Oh, you got that shit?
I don't got that video in particular. I can find it, but shout out to Mac Danny, because Mac Danny is doing the Lord's work. It may feel like he is mean and he is laughing at these rappers and their dreams, but no, he is telling them honesty that a lot of their friend groups and especially their coworkers won't, because you got to work with these folks. Have you ever heard a terrible song by a coworker and you was like, and if I say this nigga is trash, he probably ain't gonna cover my shift next week, and I really got to go to this concert. Like, you gotta like be like, oh, okay, bro, like you getting better, you cooking. Look at this video. Shout out to Mac Danny for holding what he says. He holding on. He says, I am on a mission to hold these unks accountable. And I'm like, we appreciate you, especially those of us that take care of our craft and will probably be considered an unk to him. Look at this reaction he did. He said, shut me down.
Taking an action for your birth if you've been chosen last your whole life.
Yeah.
This time you finish first. I'll say it for you.
Shut that shit all the way the fuck up.
Mistake.
He said nobody want to hear that slam poetry bullshit.
Hold on. Do you remember like when we first started like talking and interacting with each other, and I would tell you, bro, people like you, the company man, the Torre, Green, Rob Markman, Jeremy Hatch. Now I'm gonna feel like I forgot some FD, Lil Bill. God damn it, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna forget somebody. You know who I'm talking. I remember when I said, bro, y'all don't know because y'all came afterwards, but y'all have delivered this shit from evil. Like, I don't think y'all realized. Like, there was a time when I was one of it was during the YouTube rap era, the hip hop era, whoever was around, like, bro, I was literally battle rapping full-blown racist. I'm not kidding you. Full-blown MAGA Republican racists who were saying the N-word on their song, believe that I was battling, and there's people in there going like, man, he's just over here complaining, man. Like, bro, stuff that would never go now. I go like, y'all don't understand how long. It was like being the only Black person at a racist white school, and then all of a sudden the next year an entire class of niggas come. And then niggas have to start acting like that shit never happened. That's what it feels like.
Screw, you know what's so scary about that? You know what this is the first time I'm realizing that as you were dealing with that, I was dealing with that as a minority Black producer in a producer community. And I didn't realize how racist it can get until I did a video that was inspired by Musa, by Massa Musa. I did a video that had the imagery in it. It's a beat that I made, and I've never seen so many porch monkey, coon, and I was like, yo, that's like really leaning in on a lot. Like, I've seen some shit that's like, okay, you're culturally blind to a lot of things, and you just haven't been around Black folks. Okay, cool. I started seeing that blatant shit. Like, you want to know about yourself on YouTube? If you get a lot of comments, I know he knows about this. Go in them unapproved comments.
I don't dare.
Don't even touch, bro. If you go in them unapproved comments, you're gonna see some. If the moment you say, you know what, my YouTube has actually been kind of like positive lately, nigga, go in there and be humble.
Instant depression.
Instant depression. I looked in there, and the amount of comments I saw from me covering one of the richest human beings who happened to be a Black man and a king, for me covering that, they're calling me all these names, and I'm like, I literally this Black man has literally helped you to do your 808 slides. I taught you how to do boom. I taught you how to count 16 bars, but all of a sudden, then I started noticing little things like this, bro. And I wonder if you dealt with this. Whenever I would present information, the people who would challenge my IQ first.
Bruh.
When they went to other creators, white creators that they happen to look like and be more related to, they questioned their credibility before they questioned their IQ. Hey, have you worked with somebody? Do you have any placements? But they trusted that they knew what they were talking about because they were on a 4K camera and because they were a white guy. Like, that's I know that sounds insane to some people who may be oblivious to that, but me even coming into that space and some people looking at me like, is he Latino? Is he Black? My name is Dewan, first of all. Being in that space, I've never felt so alone. And there were other Black content creators that were in there that were just ignoring it because they were trying to get a race. It was a race to the top. So you dealt with that too.
Bro, that'd be Oh my God, you gonna just okay? So you know what's the crazy part? I'm seeing somebody in the comments named Nap Swear Engine. I'm pretty sure he was around for this time because he's been saying a lot of stuff that lets me know he was around for this time. Bro,
Yeah.
Nap Swear Engine, do you remember when them racists tried to cancel me because I said there should be more black people on the YouTube rap cipher? Bro, I swear, this is, I wish I was joking, bro. I swear to God, there was this thing called the YouTube cipher that they stole from me anyway. There was this thing they called the YouTube cipher, right? And it was a YouTube hip hop cipher right at the time. And I remember when the dude told me to list, I was like, I literally went, I tweeted, I was like, bro, you don't think there should be, no, I first asked, I was like, you don't think there should be more black people on here?
Yeah.
Like, what I said, I was like, you don't feel like it's weird that we're representing YouTube hip hop and it's majority white people? It's not even like different races, just white people.
Yeah,
and then gonna hit me with the, man, this is the people that people wanted. So I tweet. I went, yo, I just think the YouTube rap cipher should have more black people in it. Nigga, I swear to, on everything I love, niggas tried to cancel me, gang. That's how racist it was. That's how racist it was, bro. Yeah. Oh my God, this shit. And
you know what's crazy? As much as you felt alone in that place, that's exactly mirroring how I felt on the other end. Because I was like, I know my upbringing don't got me this detached. Sometimes I'm the issue. I take accountability, but I'm looking around these spaces and I'm like, how is it that we're in a space? Give me the producer community. This is I don't want to railroad your story, but look, dog, I'm in a space where you got content creators who have probably not been around a lot of black people.
Hold on, Afro Butterfly said DEI Cipher.
DEI Cipher is crazy. No, that's the one. That's the one. Leave it to her. Leave it to her. DEI Cipher is the one.
Where was you at in 2018, man?
She here now. She here now. It's a lot more. She here now, and I'm grateful for her. But look, peep this out. You got folks in that space that had obvious anti-black views by the things that they would say, and you can just read between the lines of things they said. But their thumbnails never had their white face on them. They only had Metro Boomin. They only had whatever rapper that they were trying to go after. It's nothing but black faces on their entire YouTube. I didn't know Internet Money was much. I didn't know it was a group called Internet Money, and they've done great for themselves. But I didn't know because they used to beef with a lot of black content producers for whatever reason. Taz Taylor and all of them have come a long way. And I know they've had black producers that have been a part of that group. But I thought it was really interesting that they always found themselves in heated arguments with black content creators, as them being white content creators. Their entire fucking YouTube with thumbnails of black faces. Why? Because black faces get the fucking clicks.
Exactly. And you know what's the crazy part?
Good enough to make money off of, but not good enough to actually embrace. Okay.
It was a bunch of white knighting, a bunch of savior complex. This is what YouTube rap was. You can go back and look at my diss tracks and my battles at that time. I was saying this shit. And at the time, niggas was trying to, like, now, all that shit, I guarantee you, if people go back and listen to my diss tracks and the battles I was in like back then, I bet you if you go read the comments, you won't believe it.
You won't even believe it.
You'll be like, wait, what? Man, some of y'all go back and go look at my Sunday school. This was me battling a full-blown, like, you got to go look at the, like, bro, you would not believe it. You would literally not believe it. And there's
they wouldn't believe it because some of them end up turning into content creators and cultural caping for Kendrick. Like, yeah, we got to get this hip hop back in.
Bro, there are people, and I'm not gonna say no names, but
they infiltrated.
You remember there were some people who literally used to be like Tom McDonald, MAGA adjacent. Majority of the thing they reacted to was white people that after the great Drake and Kendrick battle happened, they got to rebrand, they got to private in videos, they got to and nobody got to see what happened. Because I was just like, I see you. Okay, we see what happened, bro. I will never forget. You want to know another thing they tried to cancel me for during that racist ass time? I literally said, I went because I started noticing I react to a lot of white. I was like react to a lot of white rap. At the time, it was like the people who reacting like the Eminem stuff. I realized I was reacting to a lot of white rappers, and I was like, because I was just going off of because at that time I had to go off what the audience said. I wasn't big enough to just let me try this out or I had to go. And I remember in my Discord, I said this. I went, bro, it's just getting to the point where I'm getting sick of reacting to just white rappers. Like, why can we not, bro? If I'm lying, I'm flying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Niggas clip that up and dead ass tried to cancel me on that. That's how white it was. They were calling me racist. Bro, do you know how many times that I was in a battle battling some racist white boy or some white boy who said some wild shit or some wild joke about somebody, and then they came back around and was like, "Screw you, calling them out as racist makes you racist." I kid you not. If you go back and look at every one of my battles, every one of my diss tracks I've ever done, and this is not me tooting my horn. This is not me, but it's because when I battle people, I know what to do. This is what I do. I've won battle rap tournaments. Now in hindsight, you will go back and look at them and be like, yeah, bro, this is obviously you killed this nigga. And you'll go and look at what the consensus was at that time, or what, not even the consensus, what a few people try to make the consensus, you would never believe that shit. It's like, and that's why I look at y'all, because I'm like younger than a lot of y'all too. And I also look at y'all like, not like big brothers in a way where it's like I know that shit would never happen again because y'all are around now. Like I know
Hack Out would be insane and
it would be legendary. There'd be a deleted video. There would be a that's why I go like, but that's why you never see that shit.
Yeah.
But I wish y'all niggas, some of y'all was around during that time. Same. It was insane. And yes, I'm getting hot. If you can tell.
But you know, and I'm glad that you got a space to dump these thoughts out, because otherwise, like, people have a specific reason and come to your channel as it is currently designed. I'm sure it'll go under more evolutions, but like, I'm glad to have been here as a safe space for content creators that have things. And my thing is, even if you don't like the idea, let's say you're of Caucasian background and you think this is like, man, why y'all? If you don't recognize that the same creator that you got respect for and got love for is telling you these are things that are hurtful, these are things that make me feel like I'm not seen, these are things that try to belittle my contributions and even my words. How dare me have an opinion that differs from yours? You don't care about the content creator as much as you care about the content. And I think this is something this channel is all about, is humanizing the artists, humanizing the content creators. Because I'm one myself and I see this shit firsthand as an artist and as a content creator in this space. But it's important that we get this out there, which is also too, like, I feel like in the same breath as we're talking about, it's funny seeing you fan like we in church right now because we low key.
Because I ain't gonna lie, this is my first time getting to vent this shit. I've always been like, one of these days I'm gonna tell this whole thing, because even as I'm reading some of these comments and seeing people are literally like, wait a fucking minute, are you serious? And
hard to believe it.
You know what it feels like? Yeah, I guess it is a little bit of trauma. I guess I'm realizing right now when you knew you were right the whole time, and you just didn't have, you were the odd man out because you were black. Imagine you were a black hip hop content creator and you were the odd man out.
No, I don't have to imagine, because that's what I was in a producer space. I'm listening to them tell me how to do the sound that I've made before they were, like, literally before they started making music. And they're like, you're doing it the wrong way.
And that's why when people go, because sometimes I could say as black people, we are very hypersensitive about cultural stuff. We are hypersensitive. But that is why, as somebody who went and there was not enough black people to help, bro, that is important. Sometimes niggas overshoot, sometimes they do the wrong thing, but the overall reason that niggas do that is important, because you will never understand the importance of that until you're the only nigga in a situation. You will never, because now it's like impossible, because I think the Drake and Kendrick thing brought too many niggas into this, right?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. But I feel like you will never quite understand why it's important or why a nigga will be hypersensitive to some vulture shit until you have to explain why you think there should be more black people on a hip hop cipher.
Hold on. But guess what though, Screw? The same applies to the inverse of this. I've never seen so many vultures get exposed so undeniably, so quickly. As soon as they open up that, like I'm looking at this situation with Rory, before he could fully get away from that smoke, whoever's running their social media called De La Soul one person. They called it he. Mistakes happen all the time, but this is not a good timing for you to be making these kind of cultural mistakes with folks who are treasures within the culture. And I'm not saying like they looked at that and, you know, we're offended as De La Soul, but I'm saying like these are the times that people are looking at you under a microscope, us included. And if you're not on code, or if you say something that feels contradictory to the respect that we kind of hold you up to, you got to answer for that. So like as much as it's infiltrated by a lot of people that don't really care about anything but making $1 off of this, they're not having an easy time right now because it's people out here, especially those and I appreciate everybody in the chat who are part of that community that question where things are it is more than fair to question. You guys question it and now they have to answer to it because I'm not watching your shit if you can't answer these questions. These are very fundamental things. You can't straddle the fence right now.
Yeah, like it's just, and that's why I said this was a great reawakening and a cultural shift because, like, man, like I've said, I've told you this off camera, and I've said this to Justin too, and I keep telling y'all, like, bro, y'all don't understand. I mean, like, you do understand.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I legitimately thought that's what my YouTube career was going to be, was constantly being the nigga who had to push the rock up the hill.
Yeah.
And when that's another reason why, like, bro, I started losing my love for YouTube and shit at a certain time. I started losing my love for it. And people can't, when people say like, yo, you know, I can only speak for me. You got to understand why this is such a, no matter how bad things get, no matter what they say on Twitter, no matter what arguments or infighting is happening, where we are as a net right now is a beautiful place. I'm telling, like, being able to go, yo, Curtis, did you see this? Ooh, up the thing, and then being like, yo, Justin, did you see this? Or did it? Or they, yo, Screw, did you see that? And then we get to talk about it. We get to, like, that wasn't there before. It used to just be me and my nigga, Mumfu Prophet. Shout out to me and him just fighting. Bro, if you gotta, some of y'all gotta go back to my older videos during that time, and you'll be like,
oh, they about to now. Now they
like,
got people on ours. Yeah,
it was really. Oh my God, this lit. I promise you, you won't believe some of the, and then go back and watch some of these niggas' reactions to my battles too. And I guarantee you'll be like, there's no way this shit happened. It was like,
yeah.
And there's also a
yes,
feeling,
there is a way.
there's a great feeling of like validation when Black people were the majority of this. There's a great feeling of not having to like tiptoe around the fact that I want to, bro. I say these things out loud now. I feel crazy. Like, bro, there was a real time where niggas thought a got you moment was me going, bro, I'm tired of reacting to just white rappers. Can we get some other people in there?
That's not even a
we got him.
We got him as if he's not a Black man himself. What you're basically saying is I wish I had more people that look like me to react to.
Bro,
which is the very thing that they're criticizing. How dare you say the thing about wanting to react to people that don't look like me?
Bro, I literally said that when I was explaining it to some people. I was just like, you don't think, like, I just want to see, and I even hate the fact I had to do that because it feels like I'm walking with my hat in my hand, like, the reason what, man, eat a dick. Like, what do you mean? Like, the way that I would handle that now,
Same.
The
Same.
way I would handle that now.
There's been times
Oh
I got
my.
into a podcast, Screw, and I get the somber voice, and I'm like, I know a lot of things were said this last week, and I try to hold myself up. Fuck you. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's start
I
there.
apologize.
You gonna
but
stand on that shit? Yeah, I'm gonna
absolutely
stand on that
nothing.
shit.
That shit is funny to
I'm
me, bro.
standing
Like,
on that.
I was like, yeah, this shit is this is a crazy thing, and I keep bringing it up because like I still just can't believe it was a thing that happened. Like, and it goes to show the scariness of one not having multiple cultures, like and people to like around things, and when things become too, I don't know how to say this. When they become too, well, yeah, I mean, like when they become, it's a thing when you need, especially when it's a Black created thing, or it's a thing. It's like when people go, why y'all always culture? Why are always Black music? Why y'all always doing that? Because it's like, and I get if you've never been if you've always known it like this, I maybe get why you would think like, why do you even need to say that? But bro, there was a time when I was arguing with niggas if Lord Jamar saying Eminem was a guest in hip hop was a bad thing. And I was like, I literally even said, nigga, I guarantee you Eminem will agree that he's a guest in hip hop. And
that's
Eminem
the way
did.
he's talked in interviews. He's talked about it as if like he always reveres the Redmans of the world. He always reveres the people that have opened the doors up before him. And he's like, I know my place. He knows it firsthand from the things he talked about going through in 8 Mile. Like, why is that? The problem, I think, is when you started to see people who felt entitled after being invited into the house. It's like, I'm in the house. Why can't I put my feet on the coffee table?
Exactly, bro. I keep I gotta find like all them shits and make like a compilation of all like the reactions. I had to explain shit, the songs, and like that's why I said like my story. I feel like if I do a story, I could do it right now. It's not even close to being done, but like the first chapter is so unbelievable. Just to how YouTube, I could literally do a documentary on YouTube and not even make it my story, and just the way that people would. I used to warn niggas on YouTube. I used to go, bro, this racist shit y'all doing. You know, if the mainstream kids, I used to say, if Charlemagne, this was a quote I used to say, if Charlemagne the God finds out that this shit's happening, you know you niggas are done for, right? This is me talking to white boys. I used to say shit like that. And don't get it twisted. Some of them niggas rebranded and are still around. And
We've seen it. Yeah. But you know what? I think I'm telling you, I try to look at I obviously want to look at the realistic side of things, but I also want to look at it's not all painted the same color, right? There are a lot of things that we need to be very aware of and a lot of things that we need to keep our guards up about. But I am looking at this and saying, beyond us having our own personal communities on YouTube, we have creator communities that are not based upon like, how can we come together and like get this money? It's like, no.
Exactly.
Are you good, Black man? Are you good? How's your mental health? The way we check it in this group, if something goes on, somebody sees a video and somebody look like they're not themselves, we got folks checking on each other on some like, it's not even about
like when Jeremy wasn't, I mean when Justin, like when Justin wasn't, I was like, yo, because I reached out to Justin, the same thing. It's like bro, some of the conversations we've had, like when shit got dark. In the last 2 years, nigga, you're one of the people that I hit. Like, so it's like when shit got dark, like that's like not, and I would expect the same thing vice versa. And people have done that to me, vice versa too, where it's like when they didn't know, when sometimes, and as I look at y'all as elders too, I sometimes ask questions or say things to get y'all perspective of shit. So it's like it's a way healthier. It's like a growing thing. And the thing that you said that was powerful is, it's not based around let's get this money. That's where, because a lot of people think they're in community, but you're really in like a work group. You're not really in the community.
You ain't in community. You in cahoots.
Exactly.
You in cahoots, because the moment there's somebody making a little bit more than what the original plan was, it wasn't built on solid foundation. It was built on what we can gain from one another. And I'm not saying these situations don't play out in business all the time. But in these spaces, it's so much more going on that affects us on a mental level, which inevitably is going to affect the money. But it's dope that we all got our own sort of businesses set up on the same block. Because we be talking about this, like when I look at my YouTube stats and it tells me the people that my audience watches, I'm like, how can I even call it my audience when we all kind of sharing and overlapping?
Exactly.
So I look at that and I say, this is a beautiful thing and a beautiful opportunity for us to have these conversations, but then also too, to realize this is a big lesson I learned from being on YouTube, just because everybody that's skin folk ain't kin folk.
Eggs. Come on.
It's some
Come
folks.
on.
It's some folks who. It's some folks. If you turn them out inside out, man, they are worse than some of the biggest MAGA icons that you've seen. They say the most egregious shit, and you're like, wait a minute, not you.
The best word to describe, like I said, 2025. Besides infighting, disappointment.
Disappointment.
Because I'm not gonna lie, when I don't care what this sound like. When I see like a white person doing some racist or xenophobic or anti-Semitic or not a white person. When I see like a MAGA, like an expected racist, let me not say white. Like when I see like that, it hurts me, but not the same way that when now I'm arguing with someone who looks like me saying some of that same stuff, that hurts more.
It does, because you dress like me, you talk like me. I thought we had an understanding of a similar upbringing.
Exactly.
We can talk in nuance. Like we there's levels of this, and you're telling me this whole thing was a lie.
One of it feels expected, and then when I always go like, when it comes to civil rights, I always look at somebody. You know how people go, always judge somebody by how they treat like waiters and like bellboys and stuff like that. I always go, when I see a person, I don't care what color they are, and they are with an oppression of a group of people, or with like a making fun of or hurting of a group of people or othering a group of people, you in the same boat as them niggas. I don't care what color you think you are.
It's only a matter of time.
Because what that tells me is, if you just happen to not be this color, you would be on that maggot. You would be that racist side. So it's like, if I see you show love to everybody, because I like the white people who love everybody. I love the Mexican people who love everybody. I like the Asian people. I love the people who love everybody. When I see you able to go, yeah, I love these people, but not these people, I go,
yeah.
Because it's never justified. Because you ask somebody why, they'll go, let me give you this ancillary example. But then I go like, do you know how many of these people exist on this planet?
Yeah. And how many of them you haven't met or even been close to?
Exactly.
And it goes back to that thing you said about generalizations. That to me is a bigger cancer in these conversations, is that based upon my specific, you just said this, but my specific experiences with 5 to 10 people, I believe this is how the entire population is. And now look at the things that are going viral on these AI videos, like with Sorrow. To me, that's a visual representation of the same generalization. It's digital blackface.
Yeah.
When you see going back to the topic before this, when you see the locations be exposed, if you have no connection, and I'm not saying this about people who are outside, because I know you probably have your own experiences where you're at, but when you're outside of a culture, for instance, I'll give you an example, and I'll put myself out there. But if I see an example of India and I'm looking at street food and the way that street food culture is, and I'm seeing folks making food with their hand, it's easy for somebody to look at that and say, man, that shit ain't sanitary. But I have not been to every part of India. I haven't been there to experience the way this process goes. But for me to say, man, all these folks is dirty, all that shit is da-da-da-da, and I've never even tasted it, that's a character problem more so than that is an issue of your bias. And that's a character issue that's bigger than that. What was you going to say?
You want to know, and I think my mom is a psychologist. And I think in one of her books, when she was studying, I was like over her shoulder. If I wasn't a rapper, I would have ended up being a psychologist or a therapist, right? And there was like a thought experiment in one of her books, and this is one of the high level books. And they said it was basically speaking about like basically colonization and the mind state in which we all have a colonizer's mind, a piece of it. And I was like, what do you mean? And they went, They asked a bunch of people. They showed them a picture of a woman. I think she was carrying water on her head or something on her head, and she was walking, and they went, and she was like walking like on like a dirt road or some shit like that. And then they asked like a bunch of people, how would you improve this? How would you fix this? Right? And most people was like, well, you know, put the plumbing in, make it so she would do this stuff about that. And they go, what makes you? And basically the answer is, you didn't even ask that person why they're carrying that on their head, and is that a part of their culture? Yeah. You just saw it, made the decision for yourself, and went, this is what makes it better. But that's the same mind as the colonizer. Yep. They'll come in and go, you guys are walking around doing these dances, the Native Americans. I know how to make, because a lot of the times when you talk to these people, they think they are making things better. Oh, we made it better by gentrifying it. What do you mean?
And what makes you think that you have the answer to what is better for the rest of the world? You know what kind of arrogance that requires?
But that thought experiment was crazy because it didn't matter what color of person, it didn't matter what they asked. Most people, when they were asked that, said the same thing. Where it was like, and they think they're helping because, like, man, she has to carry this on her head, but what you don't realize is that's a part of their culture. Yeah. The same way that they, you know, Nigeria will wrap the babies around us. That's not because they don't have the technology of strollers. It's because the feeling, the heartbeat, and the connection of your baby is different. It's a part of the culture. So what happens too often with the internet is we don't ask why somebody's doing stuff. We look through the eyes of a colonizer and say they're wrong. Ha ha ha. We're better. When it's like, yeah.
Go ahead. Would you? It's like what?
I was gonna say when with the Indian street food, where it's like, yeah, a lot of people say this stuff, but it's like, you never stop and go, like, eating with your hands is a part of people's culture. So when you see that sometimes and you go like, well, why do they have forks and spoons? You think they're stupid or worse than you because they're not eating with forks and spoons. And that is the most gentrified, colonized mind state to have. And we all have to break that. Like, we all have to break that.
They say that shit, and then meanwhile, you just saw the news that came out about one of the heads of Campbell Soup talking shit about how the supplies he got. So I don't know if this is a CEO. I don't know who it is that's a part of it, but basically he got caught on audio saying, "Man, we make some pretty shitty food for poor people," and he said the meat's not even real; it's 3D printed. So right now, Campbell Soup is catching all kind of hell for putting 3D printed chicken, allegedly, according to these. Putting so you got the nerve to go around judging people who are hand making food, which first of all is a very intimate thing to do to begin with. I'm not, and mind you, I'm not caping and saying I'm gonna go out there and that's the first thing I'm gonna try. Like I'm a little, I got my own ways, and I'm a little nervous about how that comes together. But I'm not gonna get
as long as you're not looking at them worse. Yeah, I think like whether or not you want to eat it or not isn't the thing. It's looking at them worse or they're inferior because they're eating like that. That'd be the problem. That's why, like, when you see the comments on them shits, it'd be niggas tearing niggas down because the way they're living and shit like that.
I'll tell you one experience, and we can park it here and give you some final words as well. And I appreciate you, dog. This has been a really another conversation, dog. I had a relative of mine in Lafayette, Louisiana, and it's a relative I only met one time in my life. And my grandmother took me down there to go meet her. And she was telling me, like, her whole life, she had never been outside of Louisiana. She said her whole experience of what LA looks like and all these different cities had came through textbooks and what she saw on TV. And I remember feeling bad for her. And I told my pops, I was like, man, like, I feel bad for my cousin because he's like, do you know what kind of entitlement that requires for you to feel bad that she's experiencing? You're now putting your emotions of how you would feel based upon you having these experiences about how she should feel about her life. Meanwhile, she's had a full life. She's had kids. She's had a family. She's had jobs. She's had friends. How dare me think that my city folk life is so much better that I have the right to feel bad for her when she's like, I've lived a full life and I'm grateful for the life I've had. I just never have been there. Well, nigga, I never been to space. I think I'll be all right if I die and never go to space. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a level of entitlement that I didn't recognize until my pop said that. And I was like, damn, we be putting our perspectives on people and not realizing like how much arrogance it takes to apply our emotions to them and how they should feel, and not giving them the space to express it themselves.
My thing is, I say, basically, if your stance on somebody improving something is just to make it more like you, you really have to stop and think where that came from, because I don't think it's native to you. That type of thing. If you're looking at somebody and the way that you improve their life is just to make it more like yours, as if you're the end all be all, you gotta stop and go.
You gotta check that.
Somewhere I might have been brainwashed. Somewhere I might have maybe I'm starting to take on some of the masses thinking here, because it's like, why am I better because I'm doing it? There's just two different ways to do it. Like, but if it's not, if sometimes we think that there's an issue, a problem, because we're just looking it through our eyes, right? Like sometimes when I tell people, like, bro, there's people back in the village, like back in my village, back in the village that my people from is that you would look at them and they're very no money, nothing, but they are so much happier than we are, that they don't got the Twitter anxiety,
no screens, no dopamine rushes, all of that other stuff.
You go, damn, you forget. And when I went back to Nigeria to visit when I was in high school, I realized how much of an American I am, because I needed constant stimulation to think I was having fun. And I had to like almost unlearn that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, and when we're always chasing stimulation, that's why we end up depressed. That's why we end up doing crazy shit, because we're always trying to be stimulated. Like,
dog, that's why
go ahead, my bad.
Go ahead. We can't take what?
Now I was gonna say, we can't take 2 seconds to just not do anything and see how that feels.
We're human beings, not human doing. And I thought that was a great quote that somebody gave me one time. We're meant to be human beings, meaning that we are still human when we're just being. I did it. You ever heard of a deprivation tank?
Yes.
I did it for the first time. And dog, the first time, it was terrifying to sit with my own thoughts in such silence and darkness. And my brain didn't know what to do with it without something to do. And it felt crazy because I was like, dog, I got all kind of patience in my life. And then I sat inside this little, it's basically, if you've never seen it, it's basically like a box, like a steel box.
Yeah.
You're deprived of
all your senses.
Light. Yeah. All your senses. You're literally in a sensory deprivation tank, and there's Epsom salt at the bottom of it. I never forget the second time I did it, I started hallucinating.
Yeah, they say that happens.
You start seeing I saw shapes in front of me, and it's pitch black in here. Imagine being pitch black, unless you experimented with some shrooms. This shit ain't nothing to you. But for me, it was something to me because I'd be sober as hell. I sat in that tank and I was like, I could not decipher the difference between the darkness and what was going on there. And then after the panic of that, because I opened the door because I was like, this shit got a little too trippy for me. I sat there and I was like, this is the first time I've actually experienced silence in years. Because even in silence here, there's a flicker in the lights, there's the air conditioner, there's, you know what I'm saying, the creaking of the floors. You're always surrounded by some kind of stimulant. In that situation, you really get to know about yourself and where your brain is at.
You know what? Just to bring this all the way 360, going back to that Disney song, I'm almost there. You know what it felt like? As crazy as this sounds, this is going to be a wild sentence. But the music felt like that silence. Somehow the music was able to quiet out all of that shit. That's what I felt like when I listened to that song. That's what and I know niggas gonna be like, oh, that nigga loved that song. Bro, I'm telling you, listen to that song and tell me that doesn't hit you in your DNA. Like, tell me that don't just like, it made me go like, I don't know, I gotta listen to that song now.
Like, what am I doing?
God damn, what a great song.
To me, you know what I take from that, Screw? It's less about the song and more about you experiencing that moment to unplug and get a moment. It's almost like Neo. When Neo woke up and saw he was inside the
jellyfish, yeah.
He was like, "What the? This is what I'm in the whole time." And then he goes back into the matrix, and you realize like, oh shit, none of this is real. That's the part that I think that the perspective is needed, man. Round of applause for my dog Scru, man. This got a lot more serious than it got funny, even though it was funny as hell running through these co-worker music.
Man, listen,
this is it.
Shout out to the chat, man. Whenever I'm live, there's this thing about doing YouTube live and just doing reactions. I gotta go live more. Like the community feeling. Sometimes you feel like, am I crazy? But then, like, because you don't get to talk to people while you do the videos, you can read the comments, but you don't get to. But when I go through y'all chat and I go like, okay, so I'm not the only one noticing.
No.
Like, okay, so I there is community still. Like niggas, not everybody is falling for this infighting and these psyops and these. Not everybody. So it's
And may I suggest this? Because this is one thing I'm very serious about in my community. You see about 30 wrenches in here.
Mm-hmm.
Them folks is my snipers. Them my shooters. Nobody lasts in here long enough to disrupt the conversation. Nobody lasts in here long enough to bot the topics of what's going on. No infiltration. I defend this community to the best of my ability. And somebody told me you can't police the community and then expect to grow. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I think if anything, I was comfortable growing slower if it meant that we can get in here and have civil conversations that didn't dive into some nonsense or some immaturity. And sometimes we be having good times in here, but like it's important for me and my guest. When you hear, you get your shit off, and you're not about to be in here with people that's going to be passing judgment. They'll ask questions, but never pass judgment. And I love that about this community. So
I rock with your chat super, super hard. Thank you, Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy, man.
Hold on.
You're
hold on.
right.
That's it. That's his song.
Literally?
That's his song.
That's him?
That's him. That's Cat Daddy, man.
Hold on.
Cat Daddy, man. Anytime you see Cat Daddy, man, I want you to think of this.
I ain't going back to jail. No.
Oh, so you a real nigga on top of you? Oh, okay, hold on, bro. I might have to run that little. I ain't going back to jail. I'm gonna have to run that back. Hey, wait a minute.
Cat Daddy Man Isley. That's what I'm gonna call him. Cat Daddy Man Isley, right there.
Nah, hold on. I'm sorry for keeping you, bro.
You
but
good?
The greatest song that has ever been in one of your things. I don't know how this didn't win the tournament, nigga. That goddamn, what was it? The ooh, ooh, ah, ah,
no, we're not doing that shit. We ain't doing that. That person ain't came back. That person ain't came back since. They was like, no, these niggas trying to play with me, bro.
That was my vote to win the tournament. I don't know why y'all cheated him, man. That was the best.
That might be a category. That might be like a category 2, category 3 coworker music right there. That might be the one where like everybody. The thing is, all coworker music is not bad. That's just the way the internet made it. Some of these coworkers, you be like, damn, what you doing here, bro? Like we were that at one point in time. We was that at one point where it's like, nigga, you really good. Why you working at Quiznos? Shit,
yo, if anybody can find that ooh ooh ah ah song, man, email it to me, man. Screwfaceon@gmail.com.
Ain't nobody finna find that if you keep calling it the ooh ooh ah ah song. That's
I don't remember what it was called. Do you got it?
No, I don't have nothing. I've got nothing.
I need that for my life, man.
I got this.
I ain't going back to jail.
I got that. I got that song. That song ain't going nowhere. That is in the Hall of Fame of Critique My Beats. Man, Screwface, we appreciate you, dog. Of course, as always. DIYers, I'm gonna take a little quick break, eat some food. I might be back for a Flocation episode or something like that. Tight shit.
What you gonna do one of those listening to people's music shit?
No, not today. Hell no. That's on Monday. I'm about to make some music. I'm tired of watching other niggas play the game. I want to play the game too. I want to drive the boat. Shit.
Oh shit, you was making a beat one day when I was listening to it. I was fucking with Heavy. I didn't get to see the end of it, but I might need to, you know what I mean? Hear that.
Hey, Screwface, I know we done went through some things where it involved me getting my name spelled with one S because my beats wasn't up to par yet. But hold on, bro. Like I gotta get back in my groove, and I'm getting there. I'm so damn close now. I feel it. So I think today gonna be another Flocation day, but I just gotta get some food. And I need you to delete that other S. I need you to delete that other S and hand it over to me before you leave. It's only right.
You got your S back. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all. Always have fun in here. Even though we've been in here for like 3 hours plus, it felt like 30 minutes, man.
It's cool. I'm finna chop up all this content because you didn't gave me a whole lot of content that's finna save me some days where I can go to sleep a little bit more. So I appreciate
I'm not gonna lie to you. That YouTube story was cathartic, bro. Like I've never got to tell that on a platform before. And to me, what the weirdest part about it is it goes to show how like the internet can just disappear. Because I'd be like, bro, some of this shit happened right before the Kendrick. I mean,
yeah,
right before Kendrick and Drake battle, and then niggas just like rebranded right after that. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like that goes to show the power of that Kendrick and Drake battle. Because
you gonna keep looking, you gonna keep saying that, and that person, the people, wherever the specific person is in your head, they gonna expose themselves. They gotta be careful. They just need. I think today the moral of the story is leave Screwface the hell alone.
The messed up part is it's not even just one.
Well, the two or three, or the 4 or 5, they gonna have to. They don't. Right now is high alert. You know how they had like the terror alert. It's a high alert right now. It's like, hey, we gotta really be on point, because if they figure out that we part of them people that he was talking about. Somebody here earlier said, I need names. I said, oh, I'll be down. But that ain't happening.
Keith said, yeah, I can tell sharing that story healed something you a little bit, Screw. You have no idea. Like facts, nigga. Like I felt like, man, that's why I said it feels like not even like, like I've been at the school getting like the white boys been picking on like what's come over here, black boy. And then it felt like the next year all your cousins started coming, all your and all them niggas is like, where do those niggas go?
That analogy you said, where you said, then the next year, a bunch of my folks then came here and going to the school. It's like, oh, we gonna be good this year.
That's exactly. That's literally. Yeah. It feels like, oh, we good now. Oh, we straight. Oh, we good. Yeah, try it again. Nigga.
I wasn't you that one dude that? Oh no, you're not that no more. Are you on this side? Oh, okay. I figured, man. One more time for my dog. One more time. All right, I will timestamp all this and I'll get it to you. Also, too, if you want me to send you the collab link or whatever the case may be, YouTube got a new feature like Instagram where you can hit them with the collab, and that way your audience can be able to enjoy some of the stories if they didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
But I got you. Thank you everybody for the super chats you sent through. Much love to you. I'll be back here soon. Shout out our guests one more time. Y'all have it easy. I'll talk to you soon.
I love y'all so much.
DIY.